So I think we're live, Norlis. We're live.
We are live. I'm just gonna dial up the channel on my YouTube because it's not. It didn't show on the homepage for some reason.
Okay.
Let's. Oh, wait a minute. It's still not showing. Ah, there we go. Fake or real?
Yep. That's it. That's
Right.
that's
Let
the
me
one.
just.
I'm going to.
Yeah. I tell you what. I have to say, you look miles better via YouTube than you do via Zoom.
Yeah, it's
Zoom.
because I've got that webcam there. You're watching
It's
me with.
because it's because Zoom is, and not only that, but Zoom's very heavily compressed by the look of it. Whereas YouTube,
Ah,
you
right.
actually look
Okay.
crystal
Well, the
clear. You know?
Brio, the webcam I've got is a decent webcam, but yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
compression going on
To be
as
fair,
well.
I think it's more to do with how compressed the Zoom stream is, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it
so
should be okay.
I,
Um.
cool.
So what myself and Norlis, who has kindly joined me today, what we're trying to do is establish whether the microphone in this box is real or fake, because you pointed me in the right direction about this, because I bought the microphone thinking it's probably just going to be a used bargain. Then you're like, well, check if it's fake. And
Yeah, it might be worth backing up and explaining to the audience,
yeah,
as it were, the sort of the
so
context of this, like what type of mic this is and why you bought it, etc., etc.
so this microphone that I've bought, it's not really a mic. Like we've had a lot of good microphone discussions about this. You're really knowledgeable in this area, certainly when compared to me. I know you said, compared to pro guys, maybe you're not as experienced, but compared to me, and I think I've got a better knowledge about mics and audio than most YouTubers. But compared to me, you know a lot about this subject, and we kind of established that I need a kind of short mic if I want to replace this, and I don't want a lav mic. But the one I've opted for is a shotgun mic. Now, I've bought this microphone, the Sennheiser MKH 416. It's kind of like an industry standard almost, I think, isn't it? And
Yeah, very much so.
it's one of those mics where if I don't use it in my main setup all the time, I will use it. I'll keep it in my collection and I'll get use out of it. So yeah, you can see here, shotgun interference tube microphone for film, radio, and television.
Well, it's
And
so solidly built, you could probably just keep it beside your bed, and if you ever had any unwanted visitors, you could probably twat them around the head with it.
well, I've seen a lot of people here. See, it says here, rugged, suitable for adverse climatic conditions. Apparently, this is really good in humid situations like warm countries and all that as well. So
yeah, very much so. Yeah,
it's very well regarded. But as I found out after talking to you, Norlis, its popularity has meant that a lot of Chinese companies are creating fakes for it. So there's a lot of counterfeits on the market.
Well, I think it's probably worth saying that I think what's basically happened. I mean, I mentioned this to you earlier, but I think you wouldn't have to really go back that far before to be when you're in a situation where the vast majority of people wouldn't even have a clue that this mic existed, or would know very little, or could even name a microphone. But I think what's really basically happened is, since the advent of YouTube and people starting to kind of produce their own content, and seeing other people who are all at various levels in terms of like ability, the level of kit, budget, etc. They're exposed to these things now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without YouTube, I wouldn't even be talking about microphones, really, to be honest, if it wasn't a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think of course, what's happened is it's become sort of accepted wisdom that the MKH 416 is this sort of legendary mic. And it is. I mean, to be fair, you can buy mics which are far more expensive. You can also buy mics which are far cheaper. It's probably like
in the UK,
Pro,
in the UK, it's about 900, I think, roughly.
Yeah, retail. So it's a professional level piece of kit. It's not something that traditionally would have been used by hobbyists unless they were well heeled or people who were earning money from it. So of course, so there's a lot of desire to have an 4K. An MKH 416.
416,
and I think that's what that's done is it's opened up this opportunity for counterfeiters, because back in the day when only kind of professional sound recordists or production professionals would have been buying this kind of kit, I would have thought that they all would have either been bought new from your normal established kind of pro audio channels,
authorized
or
dealers.
Possibly secondhand. But secondhand from fellow sound recorders or whatever. But now there's this sort of big sort of opportunity for scammers to kind of pass off something which is basically not really worth more than a couple of hundred for considerably more.
The surprising thing is, and this is what we were talking about as well, is that the fakes are really good. The fakes are actually so good that some people don't even know the difference, not just from a cosmetic difference, but from an actual audio quality difference. Some people can't tell the difference until they actually go in and do audio tests and look at the noise floor and things like that.
Exactly. I think
we're saying, why don't they just sell it, under a different name, under a different brand, and make a lot of money? If they sold it at £300, £400, they'd make a ton of money.
Well, there is that, but I suppose they're just greedy, aren't they? And I mean, the thing is, the fakes would have to be decent, because otherwise, if they just don't work or they're just complete garbage, then they're just going to get virtually 100% returns. Whereas if they make it sort of, there or thereabouts, a lot of people won't know any difference. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and it's not like clothing. You buy a fake T-shirt or a fake handbag, it still does what you need it to do. But I think with technology, obviously, you want the right thing. If I jump back to the browser, I just want to show everyone the actual eBay listing that I've got, because, well, the description is pretty poor if you look at it. Sennheiser MKH 416 P48 microphone retails at around £900, so grab yourself a bargain. I am also including the windshield. Please view photos. Any questions, please ask. And I bought it for $311, which was a bargain. They had it at $300 as the starting point, and then $450 buy it now. So I was quite surprised to get it that. I'm not sure. So if I look at the photos here, if you look at the photos are terrible, but that doesn't mean anything on eBay. And
no, it doesn't, to be honest, because there's a lot of people who are incapable of putting up decent photos.
Oh yeah, I mean, even bargains and really, legit things I've bought, cameras and different things, the photos were bad, the descriptions were bad. Looking at this one, there's different things we need to look for as far as like engraving and just the quality of the texture and all that. Yeah. And that's that you can't. I mean, that's a picture of the grill, but you can't see the grill because of how poor the picture is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're saying about eBay, it's worth it. It's just a brief side point. I remember reading many years ago one of these kind of guides. I'm sure there are billions of the bloody things now, but the guide basically said about it was all about how to kind of snag yourself a bargain on eBay, and one of the many things it pointed out was to look for basically poor quality auctions, by which I mean ones with rubbish photos or misspelled descriptions and stuff, because those things normally will put off a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it could well be that the product itself is perfectly fine. Yeah. And as a result of that, there's every likelihood that the thing will go for a lower price. And I'm sure that's true. If you click on an eBay auction and it's really immaculately presented, it's got lots of perfect photos and the description is very good and all the rest of it. Yeah, great. It inspires a lot of confidence in the seller, but then equally, because it inspires a lot of confidence in the seller,
yeah,
you're going to have more people competing for it. Yeah. Whereas if the auction looks like it was done by a gibbon who'd had too much to drink, and I'm not leveling that at this seller, this product, by the way, but there's a fair chance a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this more than most people. If I see an auction with poor spelling and crap photos and stuff, I just kind of think, no, I don't have any confidence to bid on that, because
but
I just
it's not just cheaper things like microphones as well. I've seen this with houses, with cars on Gumtree and Auto Trader and all this kind of thing. As far as people just say, like renting out a flat, call me, or selling my Mercedes 20 grand, call me for more information. And you're like, you're trying to make, you're trying to sell an expensive item here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you want me? Let's open it, right? We did the introduction. You know what this is all about now, guys.
You know what it's all about.
Yeah. So I've got my overhead
deal or no
there.
deal.
I know.
Deal or no deal with second-hand microphones.
Well, the thing is, it's not a.
I'm only on this because he couldn't get an Noel Edmonds, by the way.
I hope you've still got I hope you've got a tremendous beard like he has. He's got one of those iconic beards. I don't think he's changed in like 30 years.
I could do with a shave, but I don't really have a beard as such. I just got a few days of stubble here. So you need to paint the picture.
See, I normally cut all these parts where you see that I can't open the box correctly.
Well, you've got to give this person one thing. It looks like they've packaged it pretty well.
Yeah, it's packaged really well. So it's in a brown box underneath, and this is sellotaped and all that around it. Yeah, it should be. I'll just have to get this out.
That plastic can sometimes be really hard to get off, can't it?
Yeah, they've kind of. I don't know what they've done.
You might need scissors there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably. That would be the sensible option.
Well, it's an option.
I'm so used to doing unboxings with the Stanley knife. There we go. Captain
There's something
Sensible.
No, I don't know if you're aware of this. Might as well say this.
I've just changed the overhead camera there by accident. Because I put that over the keys and it changed.
Oh well.
That's quite good because there was a button that says stop streaming. That would have been a very bad button to hit. I don't know why OBS really has to have an option to like enter a password to start streaming and stop streaming, because it's very
it does seem
easy
a little
to
bit
hit it.
Easy to go wrong, doesn't it? But
yeah.
But I was going to say, actually, seeing as you're doing this and seeing as we are talking about microphones and sound, I don't know if you are aware of this, but there's this, I had no knowledge of this until quite recently, but there's this thing now called, I think it's called ASMR, which I believe stands for something like autosensory meridian response. I could be wrong. I'm sure anyone watching will correct me if I am wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube where people record things like just sort of making noises with like eating an apple or something, and apparently now that's a thing, and I just, it's like some weird kind of sexual fetish it must be, but yeah,
it's the internet is a weird and wonderful place. But I mean, people find unboxing strange, and I watch unboxings all the time.
Yeah, I watched an unboxing once, and I'll have to try and find it for you because it is absolutely hilarious. It's a guy, and I don't think it was even. It may have been described as an unboxing, or it may have been described as something else. And I can't even remember what the product was now. But basically, the guy did it without saying anything, and he did it all with a pair of these plastic gloves on. And honestly, it was like you were watching some piece of found footage from like a notorious serial killer. It was the way that he was doing it and taking out the batteries and everything and holding them up to the camera. You kept expecting to see like a woman tied up with, tear-stained face kind of in the corner or something. It was just pretty bizarre. Anyway.
I suppose everyone's got there we go, all neatly away. So that's the beauty about the internet.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll get this open. What we'll do is we'll jump to the overhead camera, right? And I'll just check. You can still hear Norless. That's good. So we'll keep it widescreen just now so that you guys can see what's going on.
Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag the browser window over so that I can see what they see.
Yep.
There you go.
Can you see it now? I
can indeed. I can see it now.
So, I don't know if you guys can see that. Peeping perverts, 8 years for sex rates. That's the newspaper that they've got here. Yeah. Peeping perverts, 8 years for sex rates.
Let's hope this isn't a bad sign.
Yeah. Right. Hopefully that is. Yeah. Hopefully that isn't a bad sign. But fair play to the seller. Like, I don't want to give kudos too quickly in case I do have a fake, but as far as the box and that goes, it does seem to be quite well packaged. And I was saying this to you as well, Norlis, that if it is a fake, there is a chance that the seller didn't know. Anyway, they might have bought it. So there's no manual, there's no accessories. They've included a foam windshield and about 3 metric tons of bubble wrap.
Yeah, fair play. The packaging is good. You cannot dispute that.
They've got a foam windscreen. There, and then we've got the microphone. So at this point, I need to use the power of Zoom. I'll try and get in close for you guys. I'll maybe put my camera a little bit higher up here. So if I get that out of the way. Right. So can you guys see that? Is it in focus? There we go. So that's the mic. Now there's a little bit of damage there at the top. Is it going to focus? Is it going to focus? The autofocus on this is really bad right now. I don't know why.
It's focused all right actually, but let's have a look.
I think it's focusing on my hand. It's quite a hard thing. What I'll do, mate, actually, I'm going to just zoom in. That might be easier than focus.
Yeah, you need to go into the camera options and set it to auto mic focus.
What is an autofocus? Yeah, as an autofocus. So there's
auto
the top.
mic focus.
There's the top. There's a little bit of damage at the top here, but I don't think that wouldn't affect the audio in any way, would it? I don't think that would cause any problems.
It's just on the edges. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. It looks like it's had a few little knocks.
Apologies for the zooming in here. It's not focusing for whatever reason. I don't know why it isn't focusing. I honestly tested this the other day and it was focusing fine. Right. So can you guys see that? So there's a little bit of damage there. I need to zoom in more. Let's zoom in even more.
You kind of need Rolf Harris asking if you can tell what it is yet.
My camera seems to be... Right, hold on just now. I'm going to set this down. Oh, there we go. Right there. That's better. Right. Yeah. So we found an angle that isn't blurry. So one of the telltale signs about this being fake is the fact that the top grill, apparently, if you can turn it off easily, which I can't, so that's hopefully a good sign. If you can turn that off easily, apparently that's one sign of it being a fake. But it isn't any guarantee. You were saying this, Nollis, there was a guy who looked at this, and they looked at it, and well, basically this wasn't coming off.
Yeah, he bought a fake, a more modern one, and that the top, the capsule he couldn't get it out. So yeah, the other thing that seems to be, I have a look at the screw toward the other end of it.
Yeah, there's a screw. So this is
black.
Yeah, it's black. It is black.
It's black. That's a good sign.
Now, the other thing would be for me to take this off and try and unscrew it and, take the capsule off. But these are, some of the signs. This has obviously got a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah.
What I can maybe do is, I don't know why the zoom, I need to check that actually. I don't know why the zoom is playing up so badly right now. But the other thing is the texture. Apparently the texture, it's quite a hard thing to show on the camera, but apparently the texture is better on the real one as far as the quality of the texture. The other thing is the writing. Now, I'll zoom back in here. One of the other things they said, I'm sure you saw this as well, Norris, where, see the writing, this is another part. Now, we can jump over now because there's a couple of websites that talk about this, and see if I can, there's a good website that does a comparison about this. One of the guys talked about how it's basically more bold for the writing. But
yeah, there was less space between the writing. Yeah, the letters, yeah.
Yeah, so if I jump over to this webcam here, it says here, bad paint, this is a fake. Now, I've seen some people say that when you put your finger over it, it's kind of like raised up rather than indented, like embossed into it. This actually seems like it's actually embossed. Now, I'm not sure if that's coming through in the camera, but it's not just printed on, if that makes sense.
No, that's a better sign, isn't it?
Yeah, so far I've got a little bit of marks, a little bit of damage. It's obviously been used a lot, which doesn't concern me at all.
No, that would look like your typical mic belonging to a professional sound recorder. It's
yeah, well, when I
messaged, they don't baby them. They use them. They get hammered.
Well, the thing is as well, a lot of this I'll probably be able to clean it up if it really does concern me. That's literally just a cloth to clean all this.
Yeah, of course.
A cloth, and if I wanted to paint it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. One of the things I noticed in the comparison video, which I think we both watched, is he made a comparison between the finish of a genuine one and the finish of a fake one, and he said that the genuine one was a little bit more kind of I can't remember how he described it, but the sort of patterning on it was a little bit more.
Well, I think that's
visible.
See with that texture. I think that's the part you were talking about. He said that there was a little bit more texture. The other one was more solid.
Yeah. But the only thing with that is some of these things I wouldn't necessarily take as gospel, because they do over the life, something like this that's been around for a long time. It's not like there's just one run of them.
No,
they've been making this for a long time. And there's a good chance that even if you were to take, say, 3 genuine ones, one was 20 years old, one was 10 years old, one was brand new, they probably would vary slightly even then.
Yeah, and I think the counterfeiters are going back. Batch 1 was probably terrible, and then people caught them out and they went back batch 2 where they fixed the writing or they fixed something else. The other thing would be to get the capsule out. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that here. I mean, I assume I just have to take that off. But the other thing was here, it's silver. Now, hopefully this is going to focus.
Oh, the XLR pins, you mean?
Yeah, the XLR pins, but I'm kind of...
And what colour are yours?
See, it's focusing on my hand there.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky thing to focus on.
Yeah. What I can actually do, if that's not going to work, what I'll do is jump to this camera. So I'll jump to this camera and we'll see if this works here. So see if we can get this in the camera. See, it's because it's trying to focus on too many other things. It's quite a small space to focus on. You'd have to manually focus it. See how blurry that is? It goes. Yeah, I think a lot of cameras would struggle with that.
Yeah, you're quite close, aren't you?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. Normally with my overhead camera, that isn't an issue. What do you think, guys? Do you think I've got a real one? Do you think I've got a fake one? So far, I think it looks okay, but...
What colour are the pins, Kev? Because I haven't been able to make it out so far.
Right, so hopefully I can...
Are they silver or brass looking?
They look silver, if I'm honest.
Oh, right,
silver,
okay.
Which is, I think, what you want.
Yeah.
It's because it's basically what the camera's trying to do is it's looking at this and there's like one little circle here and it's focusing on my hand, which is why I'm getting the problems, and I can't stand this up to show you. I'd have to kind of do something like this to try and go off the shot. Maybe I'd need to do something
I think it's probably worth saying. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this doesn't prove or disprove anything, but I think it's probably worth saying that from what I've seen thus far, the people who've bought fake 416s have bought them new from eBay or from somewhere else.
Yeah, with the box and all that.
With the box. I think that any mic that's quite a few years old and that has been used in a production capacity, like if that has actually been used for, you know, by a sound recordist or whatever, and has been used for a number of years, I would imagine that would have just been bought brand new from a legitimate place. I wouldn't have thought a professional sound recordist would have bought a fake like 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't even know how long they've been making them.
The lady said she'd lost the box on location, but you know, maybe that's something you would say. I'm not accusing it or anything, but of course here
it is possible. I mean, you know, productions can be quite chaotic, and you know, it's people lose all sorts of things on production. To be honest with you,
as far as, you know, we'll just kind of run through some of the things here. They talked about how the windscreen is kind of cut off and it's quite straight. Now, again, this is something that's easily fixed, but this one does seem to be more round here. If you look at it, it's a little bit more round. It doesn't seem to be just cut straight.
Yeah.
The fake one.
Does the windscreen seem good quality, or does it? Because the fake ones look really crap, don't they?
It seems okay, but I mean, it's...
Yeah.
To be honest, I've only really bought cheap ones before anyway, so it's not... Yeah. I don't know if I've got a good comparison. But that's the box. Obviously, I can't check that. I don't have the official documentation because since 2012, Sennheiser have did like a hologram label thing on the box, which you can check, which I can't do that. But you can see here where it says that the screw is black on the real MKH 416. It is on mine. But then again, how easy would it be for them to go back to a second batch and just change the screw? The writing...
If they're still making these, they wouldn't be making them with a silver screw anymore, would they? They would probably be getting hold of a real one and trying their damnedest to copy a real one.
Yeah. Well, the other one, the paint thing, I think that's harder to tell there, but I'll try and get that in the shot, in the overhead camera shot. If you look at the writing...
A lot of these ones on this website are things which you've got no way to... You know, they're talking about the box and the instructions and all that, which obviously, you know, you haven't got.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, right now, if I had to put a bet on it, I'd say it was legit. Because A, because of the signs, and B, because the fact that it is the age and it's being as used as it is, would suggest to me that it was bought a number of years ago by someone who's using it for real. I wouldn't have thought there are many professional sound recordists who would go and buy something like this from eBay, because they wouldn't take a chance. They would always buy legit. Because if you're earning money from this as one of the tools in your box, then you're not going to try and save a few £100 from buying a fake one, really, you know?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Does this focus on here? That actually might... It's hard to show you the pins. It's really hard because the camera doesn't focus it. The pins are silver. It's hard to show you guys, but they are silver. I can't turn the grill. I can't turn it on and off. I can't like take it off easily, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Inside it says MKH 418-100-409. I don't know if that number is anything I should be concerned about. Yeah. This website's got kind of more information as well about this kind of stuff.
I think I think I read somewhere that there was something on the Sennheiser website where you could actually
I think that was with the hologram
number with them.
Oh, can you? Well, the serial number then maybe I can basically 100 409 it says, but then I don't know if that's something it's easy for them to fake. I don't know. I mean, so far it does look real, but it just the sheer confidence of other people thinking they had a real one and then saying, oh, by the way, it turns out it's fake. The writing though does kind of feels more printed on than like raised. You know what I mean? It feels like it's kind of been, what's the word, engraved in, rather than raised up. Made in Germany as well, which is good, obviously, but they would put that anyway.
Yeah.
Well, try it. We'll try, see what we can get here. So far, I think I've got it. The only thing I can do, though, to really confirm would be if I take that screw off, would that allow me to just take the capsule off, or do you have to take the grill off to do that?
I think you should be able to just undo the screw and it'll come out.
Right, I would have to get a... See, I didn't know what the size of the screw was, so I took out this one. It's massive.
just slightly oversized, yeah. But
yeah, just a little bit. I've got a little screwdriver kit down there that could maybe help us. Right, let's do an audio test. I'm going to plug in this mic. Hold on. Right.
A spare channel on the old input, is it?
Yep, the old 2-channel audio interface. So,
see, if we'd have been doing this in the middle of the night, there would have been loads of these kind of North American YouTube people who would have dived into this to tell us, but
we'll see.
Given the time,
no, I know, but I mean, it's so good. I wanted to do this live. I was going to just unbox this myself, but I said to you, you were kind enough to join me. This actually seems okay as far as holding it as a shock mount. Right, so I've got the audio down now. Right. Oh, sorry, this will need phantom power, won't it?
It does indeed.
Yes.
It's a condenser, old boy.
Plus 48 volts. Right.
Ooh, there you go. I had a little pop then, so.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you hear me? Right.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
This is the mic. Now, I've got that. I've got the what, sorry?
You probably want to have the windshield on if you're going to put it right up to your beak.
Yeah, because
it's quite
very good point. Let's see. Whoops. Look at this. So my tripod just broke off there. I need another tripod. Thankfully, I have a lot of these. These things are so cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
That's for the bin.
Evidently so.
Yes.
Oh, well.
I'll switch back to this mic for a second till we sort out this problem.
Yeah, why not? You should find... Oh, that's the other thing. I mean, obviously, unless you've got the luxury of having two side by side, you probably wouldn't be able to confirm unless you take it apart. But what I was going to say is that one of the things that the 416s are known for is they've got quite a hot output. So
right.
Whereas the fakes I've seen have got quite a few decibels lower output. So you probably find that if you were to hold that, like say, 30 to 40 centimeters away from your mouth, which is kind of the ideal kind of length for one of those.
Here.
Yeah, your gain settings, you shouldn't have to have a huge amount of gain on your input to get quite good levels.
Well, as far as the gain level goes, I don't know. I mean, I've got it like, it seems quite loud just now, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's good. You've got good level now. But what level is your interface on?
It looks about 40 dB. 40 dB.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's not too bad.
But it depends. I mean, I can do, from the side, you're going to pick up a little bit, come back to the front here, go round to the side. In fact, I'll move the microphone. That makes more sense.
Not having a lot of luck with tripods today, Kev, are you?
That wasn't even the tripod. That's the shock mount.
Right.
I'll bring this over just now. I'll mute this just now so you don't hear a lot of noise. Yeah, it seems. I don't know what the perfect level is for this.
Well, I think it depends, but normally with a shotgun mic, the optimal position would be sort of between about 30 and say 40 or 50 centimeters, because they're kind of primarily used in situations where they need to be out of view, which usually means they're just going to be up.
I've got a stand above me which I can use. That was one option.
Gary McDowell says you are having a mare, and he's laughing.
I am. All right, Gary. Yes, I am having a beer. Right, this is 30 centimeters. I'm sure this was a measuring device for everyone's imaginary penis size at school, but this is what I've got here to measure distance. So you're saying
you've got a filthy mind, Kevin. Honestly,
I do. So like you're saying about there. So basically,
yeah, that would be a standard distance, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the size of Adrian Mole's member. That's a reference for anyone in Britain over the age of 40.
Oh, good God, I remember that well.
Aged 8 1/4 or what it was, or 12 1/2.
13, yeah. Didn't he mask it with? He charted it on a wall, and he called it something like Colombian coffee sort of plantations or something, didn't he? Something
well,
like that.
Actually, I got the game free with my Commodore 64. Right. So I'm going to put the mic back on. And that mic is out the way. And what I'm going to do, I'll turn it to me. I'm going to turn the gain level up a little bit. You'll be able to... Whoa. So, the gain level now, what do you think now, guys? Hear a little bit of background noise?
I'd say you probably want it slightly higher than that, but you're not far off. I mean, I think what you're discovering now, or will discover, is how directional shotgun mics are, which is like you're sat perfectly, but you move your head or you move it slightly, and all of a sudden you can just hear the level dip completely because it's that directional. Whereas your SM7 is more cardioid, so it's just got you're always sitting much closer to anyway, but also it does have a wider pickup pattern.
This one, I can do that, and then when I move it around, you can't hear me, and then I bring it back, and that's the pattern that Nollis is talking about right now.
Yeah. But that's those mics, shotguns, have got the narrowest pickup pattern basically that there is, and so therefore, if you're not smack on axis, you'll notice quite a steep drop off, and obviously that's by design. It's intentional.
Thanks. Yes. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. What are you thinking? I mean, it's hard to tell at this point whether I still have. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I need to take the capsule off to check the actual electronics? You think that would be...
Well, it wouldn't be a bad thing, because at least then you'd know for sure, wouldn't you? But I would say right now, if I had to kind of... if this was an episode of Banzai and I had to place my bet, I'd probably err on the side of it being a legit rather than being a Sexton Blake.
I mean, audio level... I'm kind of set up at... I'm kind of peeking a bit. I can actually put the level up a little bit here. I think the audio level seems okay.
Yeah, it's not bad, yeah.
You hear me in stereo because of the other mic. Do I need to turn that off?
It's probably best if you did, yeah. But the thing is, the other one is so sort of close mic. You can't. I don't think you're probably getting picked up that much from that anyway.
Right, okay. So, assuming this is the original one, it sounds okay. There's absolutely zero latency going through my user interface and all that, the audio interface. Doesn't seem to be any problems there. It seems like it's working okay. Obviously, I do need to buy a better shock mount, and all that.
Yeah, preferably one that doesn't fall apart as soon as you grab hold of it.
Yeah.
But
well, what we'll be doing is putting it on a magic arm and putting it on the stand above. So I'd probably put it like up here, and then face it down the way. So I don't know how it works like that. The idea would be that you'd have it like that. And it actually seems a lot better there in that position.
You certainly wouldn't want a desk mounted. You know why? Because as I'm discovering now is that it's so sensitive. Condenser mics are so sensitive. I'm actually picking up like your elbow in the desk and stuff. I'm actually picking
here?
up. Yeah, I can feel that little thumps in the speaker, which is just goes to show how sensitive they are.
I think the idea would be to try and get this on.
Yeah.
In fact, try and show you
because
guys.
the thing is, shock mounts. I mean, they are a necessity for condenser mics, but I think sometimes people that are under the impression that if you've got a shock mic, then you're golden.
Yeah, you
but
can
actually,
do what you want. Yeah,
you can do what you want. But it's bollocks because I've got shock mics, and if I tap the stand, then I feel that the sound. It's only meant to. It obviously is better than not having one, and so but it's really meant for things which are much more. Indirect, like footsteps and stuff. But if you tap the stand, it's not magic. It's not floating in the air. It's going to pick it up.
Oh, you're still going to pick up noise. It's just the nature of microphones, though, isn't it? It's just
it is.
Even with this microphone, if I even hit there, it does pick up a little bit of the And this
but the difference being though is like just then when you were clicking on your mouse, that Sennheiser was picking those clicks from the mouse up.
Oh, right, was it?
Usually with your you're not really hearing them.
No, you're not going to hear that. This one forever, this one always seems to come off. It screws off after a while. It always does that. I don't know, like it does seem to be a little bit better when I go up higher. Like here, it does seem quite good.
Well, the general rule of thumb with those type of mics is for them to be boomed from above you and pointing more or less to the top of your chest. So effectively, not directly at your mouth, but you're sort of talking across it.
Yeah.
That's the belief.
So what I've got here, you'll probably know what this is. It's a magic arm. These things are really handy. I was using this for the GoPro in my car, but I'll buy another one. But what I could do is, I'll put this mic back. I'll put this one off just now. What I can try and do then is see if I can boom it up, but I don't know if I'm better. You think I'm better checking the capsule?
Yeah, because I would say, because at the moment, obviously it works. Clearly the mic works. So there's no dispute about that. It's just a question of whether it's the real McCoy, as it were.
Yeah. I definitely need another shock mount. That's for sure. Right. So I can.
If only Dennis Norton was alive, he'd be popping up now, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I wonder how easy this is then to get off this. I'll find a. Can I just say, guys, this is why my room is an absolute mess, because I like to be able to grab things close to me. If I need a screwdriver or anything, have it close.
Exactly.
Every other YouTuber, their office, the recording environment is immaculate, flashing lights and all that. I just put my tripods next to me so I can grab them.
I'm always suspicious of overly tidy people, though.
Yeah.
I bet you if you went to the homes of most serial killers, you'd probably find it was immaculate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always start off with good intentions that I will keep things tidy, but then, right. Let's see if we can do a live.
Your chest of drawers over there, it looks like War of the Mechanoids from here. By the way, to the people who've commented, so where just as a matter of interest, where are you all located? Gary, Yes 101, and Neil Desperandum.
Well, Gary's actually very local to me. Me and Gary go back 30 years.
Good God.
Yes, it's a long time. And this is the bin. We go back many years. Me and Gary travelled all over Asia. Well, we travelled Thailand and a few other places. We went to Australia together. We'll keep those stories for another day.
Yeah. I was going to say, as soon as you mentioned Thailand, then I thought you better slow down. It's before 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yes, the
round the corner from Kev, And Yes 101 he's reading at the moment, according to him. That's just a joke.
Reading.
I know you're reading, I know.
All right, sorry. I missed the pun. I was too busy reading it.
Yeah.
I totally missed your joke. I went right over my head there.
And Neil Desperandum is. Whereabouts are you then?
It's only picks up the speaker and not the grotty protesters. Right, let's see if we can do this. This is all on the fly, guys. It'd be funny if I just unscrew this and it just falls apart. Why is that? That seems really slow there. Why is that doing that there? That was.
You could say it'd be funny. I mean, it might be slightly problematic because most people in that situation would probably then just get back to the seller and say, sorry, I bought this and it didn't seem to work. Whereas in your case, you'd have incontrovertible video proof that you actually dismantled the fucking thing.
But then they'll say that that's why it's broken. Right, I better not lose this screw. I'm sure like an official MKH 418 screw is like £600.
They'd screw you for that. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Right. That's these interesting live streams, isn't it?
This Gary mate of yours, is he the one who owns the burger chain, McDowell's?
They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Coming to America.
I think they're doing a sequel to that. Right, so there's the screw.
Good God. Right. I'm only looking at you from the webcam angle, though, to be honest, but let me just maneuver my browser again.
Yeah. Just checking the CPU was okay, because it seemed like the footage was shaky there. Can you guys see that camera okay? It seems a little bit shaky here for me. As far as it's slow. Yeah, it's quite slow right now. I don't know if OBS...
That's probably to do with... That's probably shutter speed, maybe. It's probably... Have you got it on a fixed shutter speed, or is it on auto?
Because it could be.
Yeah. The problem with using auto shutter speed for video is that what it'll do is it'll adapt the shutter speed based on light. Ideally, if you're shooting this at... What are you shooting this at? 30 frames per second or 60? Are you shooting this at... No, it's got the headphones.
Sorry, Nollis, I missed that.
Are you shooting this at 30 frames per second or 60?
60.
Yeah, in which case, the best thing to do is to set the shutter speeds to as close as you can to double the frame rate. So if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you want to go for about 120.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Is it like that for you as well? Is it quite poor right now? I don't know. It's not. This is the thing. I didn't do this in any test.
Your overhead camera is really jittery. Yeah, I would say it's probably on too slow a shutter speed.
In fact, know what I'll do?
You're getting a bit of an early 80s music video effect there.
I'm going to do the greatest fix of all time. Off and back on again.
Have you been speaking to NTL recently, have
you? Right. This should fix it. This should fix it. Right.
Yeah. But just for future reference...
It wasn't doing that before. Yeah, so I said at 120.
I'd say ideally, what you want to do is if you're shooting video, shutter
really
speed.
Bad, actually. It never does that. It's never ever did that before. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's see. If
Some combination of settings, but for video, the general rule of thumb is you want it double your frame rate.
Well, there it's there. Can you guys see that?
Certainly can.
Yeah, it looks real, guys. Yeah,
that looks like real McCoy, yeah.
Yeah, that's real. I've got a real one, guys. It's official.
It's real.
Official.
What is it, Del Boy? It's a microphone, Rodney.
I'll jump to this camera because that other camera's gone crazy there.
It's got the sticker. It's got the Tuba Tip X in there. It's got everything.
Yeah. I don't see I have any camera that can focus on this, but yeah, this does look official. This does look like it's the right one because we checked that a lot. There was a few comparisons in the videos that showed you the real mic. I don't know if there's any in these ones.
There should be a little lever in there.
Yeah, there was one.
Press it. Yeah, a little robot with a German accent comes out and says, "This is completely legitimate."
I would pay the official price for that. I'd pay double.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Right. I just want to zoom in. Apologies for the overhead camera, guys. This was fine earlier in the stream.
She says Chinese ones are very convincing.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. No, that's official.
What Chinese? What are very convincing to you? People or mics or?
So I'll put it over here. Yeah, this is official. This is all good.
Yeah. Apart from this kind of like 1982 music video aesthetic you got going on, basically that looks legit. So that's good.
Yeah, I've got a real one. That's good. But so I've saved I don't have the box. I don't have the manual. I'm looking at the wrong camera, but I don't have the box. I don't have the manual. None of that matters because I'm just going to be using this microphone anyway. So yeah, it looks. Yeah, that's legit. The reason I'm saying that there's a couple of comparisons online. I can't find it right now, but there's comparisons online that show you the difference. And this, gold with the circuitry is what the Sennheiser looks like, but the fake ones are like. They look like vape electronics or something, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, no, to be honest, in a way, I would have been surprised if it was fake for the reasons I said earlier, which is that given the age and the amount it's being used, and the fact that it's being used, well, according to the seller, in production, which when you look at the sort of appearance of it, you'd say that's probably legit. You would have thought that would be legit. I mean, generally speaking, it looks like the fakes are ones that people have bought brand new in a box.
Yeah, and then
that's not to say that you couldn't buy a fake, because after all, someone could buy a fake, use it for a couple of years, and then someone point out that it's a fake, and then think, right, screw it, I'm going to sell it to some mug on eBay. So I'm not saying that no fake went second hand, but I think,
Well, that was my worry, that I didn't think the seller had sold me a fake on purpose, because it wasn't like someone that was selling things all the time. It was like a regular person who had sold toys and different things. Yeah, I do, Hugh. So, yeah, I didn't think it was hard. But you never know, because someone, if maybe they bought a fake one years ago, they'll pass the buck on if they did buy a fake. But what I can maybe try and do, I know this shock mount is a little bit kind of wasted right now, but what I can maybe try and do is position this up above, see if we can get it working.
Did you say the seller, that the person you bought it from, seemed to sell a lot of toys?
It was like toys and just random things like that. It was like a regular kind of eBayer that just sold random stuff from about the house.
Because I'm worrying, given this slightly mucky appearance, and she sells toys, and I'm beginning to wonder what sort of toys she was selling. I mean, you could well have got the bargain of the century there, because it may well transpire that that's been used in some sort of adult entertainment pictures,
I would push the price up.
Yeah.
Right, so let me see, how would I do this? Let's see if I can do this. This is not the correct size for this. This isn't going to hold it though. This is the problem. This isn't going to hold it because it's just going to fall down like that, because I don't have the correct size of shock mount. Yeah, I'm curious as to whether I could do this though. Hugh, can you see? He wants you to see the train station.
The train station. That's quite a difficult one to say unless you're a Welsh speaker. That.
I think even if you are Welsh, it'd be difficult.
No, fun enough. My next door neighbour is actually from there, or from nearby. I can say a lot of places and a lot of words, but that's one I'm not going to try and embarrass myself with. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to grip on. Because when you put it upside down, yeah, it's going to be like that. Yeah, it's not going to work. I don't have the shock mount for it, guys. I'll need to sort that later.
That's another purchase for you there, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is quite a cheap one at that, thankfully. But I can do more tests with that. What I'll do, let me see, I'll put this on, put this off. So we're back to the real Sennheiser MKH. And what Nollis was saying there was, the idea is that this would be positioned up here. Like that, obviously off camera, like that.
I mean, to be fair, for the kind of videos you're doing, it wouldn't matter if they are kind of in shot, because obviously it's only in uses of drama and I suppose documentary, or any time when you wouldn't necessarily want people to see the microphone and they're out of shot. But in your case, I've seen a lot of people use those kind of mics on YouTube, and they have them quite visibly in shot. I mean, it's neither here nor there. It's just, I suppose, it's just your own preference, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think. Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't. It doesn't bother me if I look at a YouTuber and the microphone's in shot. It doesn't bother me too much. I think for me though, because I've always got this in my face, it would be good to get it off camera for certain types of videos anyway.
Yeah, I think things like the SM7B is like a bit of a gold standard in it, but I think generally speaking, it's probably used more in situations where you're not going to be seen. So it's, in other words, things like voiceover, radio, stuff where people are going to hear you but not see you. Yeah. And it's not because it's particularly offensive to look at or something. I mean, It's just that obviously the nature of those kind of mics are such that you've pretty much got to be filleting the damn thing to get the best out of the sound, haven't you? Whereas, condenser mics are a bit more sensitive, so therefore they don't actually have to be rammed in your mouth. Although, the drawback of that is they pick up a lot more of the noise, so it's swings and roundabouts.
Well, that was the worry of buying this type of microphone anyway, because we were talking about how in this room it could maybe pick up a lot of echoes. I don't know if like the bookcase and different things in the background are actually stopping any kind of echoes and reverbs in the room.
Soft stuff tends to soak up sound, and oftentimes things like bookshelves will have a kind of a scattering effect. But room acoustics is a very complicated
to stop the audio from bouncing back effectively.
Yeah, but I think probably if you wanted to maximize that, you'd get sort of either fill the room with soft furnishings or put up what are called sound blankets either side of you, and then that sort of
Well, I know the acoustic foam is popular still. Super cheap to buy as well.
There's also a lot of little panels you can buy, which are sort of made of various things, and you put them on the wall in strategic places, and it catches reflections. So Hugh's grammar is top notch as always, by the way, just from looking at his.
Well, thanks for helping all this. It looks like I have got a real one. I think I've picked up a bargain.
You've got a real one, which is a relief, really.
Yeah. Well,
I don't been a huge amount.
I don't know exactly how I'm going to use this yet. I'm going to do some audio tests because I might, as I said, I could put it up there and try and just position it up there. I don't know how much of a shock mount I would actually need if it was on a stand above me.
If it's isolated from things, like, I mean, if it was, if it was attached to the desk, you wouldn't need like a world class one, but you'd still, that thing will pick up anything. So,
do you know what the distance is like on this as far as how far it will pick up?
You mean in terms of?
In terms of, obviously, I'm using it right now, just right next to me, but because what I could do as a test is basically position this on a tripod way over there right now, and just see what kind of distance.
To be honest, I say like 30 centimeters or a bit closer, a bit further away is optimal. It will pick up sound from further. So if you were to say,
but then you'll pick up a lot of background noise as well.
You will. Your level will drop, and then it'll be a question of the seesaw between sort of room noise and your.
And then you raise the gain level up, and then all of a sudden you're picking up all the.
Yeah, as soon as you have to jack up the gain, you just start picking up, the spider sneezing in the corner and stuff,
Yeah. Well, right now the noise level, if you just, there doesn't seem to be any kind of high noise flow. It doesn't seem to be any buzzing or any kind of problems there. And I've got the gain level up quite high.
I'm not hearing anything. I mean, it's, I'm assuming that room is fairly quiet insofar as it's not, you haven't got like noisy neighbours or anything going on outside or whatever.
I've got a new neighbour now, actually. She's got a dog and a kid, but even they're still pretty quiet. So
yeah,
no problems. I'll just see if I can put this on top of a tripod, see what happens. How is everyone anyway? We've got about 50 comments from Hugh. Any legit comments, Hugh, or is it you just here to troll again? Hugh loves a troll. Loves a troll. Lives for trolling. Lives for it.
It's a shame in a way that, well, I say it's a shame. I'm sure, given the world we live in, there probably already is this. But if there was some sort of like world championships or Olympics of trolling, you'd have thought
Hugh would be up there. Hugh would be up there.
He'd be in training for it, wouldn't he? At least he'd be in contention.
Yeah. Oh, get my right. Okay, see if I can.
What tripod is that, Kev? Is it Manfrotto?
It is not. It is K&F Concept, but I cannot find the actual help. I've just brought this over and I can't find the plate for it.
Oh, see, you've committed a production faux pas there, which is not putting the plate back on.
I do have it somewhere.
Yeah. The usual classic is people will take a tripod and a camera out, and they'll forget to put the plate on top, and they'll return it, and then someone else borrows the tripod, to use the different camera, their own camera, and then Cal Surprise, the plate is not in the tripod and is on the camera that it was borrowed. It's the old classic.
Well, I've got a couple of. Oh, here we go. I've got one over there. Hold on. I've got the backup.
There you go.
I'll use this one instead. This one does have an L plate on it. It's actually handy having spare ones of those, the L plates, because you never know. It's just easier to just keep things. Oh, I'm unlocking the wrong thing there. It's just easier to keep things attached to cameras.
Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? I mean, it's different when it's just your own gear and you're the only one using it.
The amount of times though, I buy a lot of stuff just to save me time and save me like doing all this.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now I just buy stuff just to save me time, to save me messing about with different things. Oh, this one, the L plate on this is garbage. I hate it. See, this is the fun part that you guys don't normally see in videos. All this crap.
All this nonsense, yeah.
Yeah, you don't normally see this side of it where you're using a screwdriver to
they're getting a window into the world of the YouTuber.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with YouTube. You don't normally see all the stuff in the background with all that kind of stuff. Come on. Yeah, you don't normally see that.
This is the thing. I think that the difference between the average person on YouTube and the people who are kind of, up the top in terms of sort of subscriber numbers, production value, and all the rest of it, is that a lot of the time those people have kind of dedicated, studios, if you like it. It's either a dedicated space in the house or they've got an actual, people like
Linus.
What's the name of the guy? Canadian guy, is it? Linus Tech Tips, is it?
He's a good example of that, because he's got 2 or 3 staff that just do video editing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's got different guys filming. Then he's got a guy handling the camera. He's almost. I know it's his. It's obviously his business and it's him that runs it. But I know he's very hands on as well. But he's always almost got like a presenter role in a way.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're at that kind of level in the equation, it's easier in as much as the onus isn't on you to do everything. You've got dedicated space, etc., etc. Trying to do everything out of a living room or a kitchen or whatever. It's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people obviously don't see that. They don't see that side of it. See if I can
your man Gary's waiting with some help, Kev.
Cheers, Gary. Right, so I've got this to the side here. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, great. Right. I'll show you, like, if you look at, I don't think I've added, hold on just now, I need to add Norlis back. Right, here we go. If you look here, you can see where I've got it here, right? So you can see the level I've got it at there. So I'm going to push this away. I've turned that other microphone off. And this is the shotgun mic. So what do you think? This is about 30, 40 centimeters away. You can see when I turn round. So that's up really high. That's super high. So that's nearly like 60 decibels of gain. You can hear a lot of background noise now.
Yeah, your gain is a bit high at the moment. To be honest.
I'll bring it down to like 50. So that's 50 decibels of gain. And you can see I'm not high enough here. I'm not high enough at this level. I'm not sure if there's anything you can do at the kind of software side. For example, does that help?
Yeah, it's difficult to say really, because obviously you're not just recording straight into a computer. You're recording via not OBS, what's it called, Zoom or whatever.
Well, I'm going through both. I'm actually going through both. It's sending a signal to both. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably.
But you're going to hear a bit of background noise.
Interfering with the sound.
There will be a little bit there. I'm not sure. Like, OBS lets you increase it as well. You know, I could go up like that. This puts the gain level up as well.
Is your SM7 definitely muted, by the way?
Yes. 100%. Yeah, it's totally off. But I think at that level seems a little bit better, about here. But again, this is where I maybe need it to be a little bit higher up and pointing down at me like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Surface Pro has collapsed.
Yeah, I'd say that. The best thing to do is when one of your 2 year mates come around, you can plant yourself in what would be your normal position. And then you can experiment with getting it kind of angled at the right level. And in fact, the higher, in some ways, the steeper the kind of direction it's pointing. In other words, if it's pointing down, the better, because hypercardio mics do tend to kind of pick up stuff a little bit from behind as well. So ideally, like for example,
if I go, you guys can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So ideally, what you'd want is it pointing down, but pointing down at quite a sharp angle. You know, I mean, if you were thinking about it in degrees, it would be, say, not necessarily vertical.
See if I can put this up for you then to show that. So like, see if I can turn this around. Try to get this around. Here we go. So like that kind of angle.
I would say ordinarily you'd want it up so that it was well above you and pointing at probably a steeper angle than that, actually.
Like that?
Yeah, or even maybe steeper than that, actually. Because when people are boomed on a set, using those type of mics, they'll hold the mic will be not necessarily totally, out of shot, but also pointing not quite vertically, but say kind of very, that kind of angle, maybe even slightly steeper.
Well, that's kind of what.
Oh, it's going to fall out, mate.
Yeah. That's kind of what it will be at if I put it onto the stand.
Yeah.
But for that I need a decent shock mount and all that. This tripod has just went. Look at the state of this. Is one of the legs went down? Is that it? Yeah, one of the legs is unclipped. I'm having a nightmare.
He's having a tripod nightmare.
Yeah. Look at the state of this. Guys.
He's got 99 tripods, but insert your own line.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I think if you're planning to use that in future in lieu of the SM7, then you probably have to look at some sort of way of rigging it such a way that for one thing, the cable will have to be out of the way. You don't exactly want that dangling in front of you. And then so you might need a fairly lengthy
that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, I've basically got a stand around here, and this is what my overhead camera is on. And what I can do is, I've like, for example, for the power, I've got the cable running along. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's basically
you've already got a bit of a rig there for the other camera.
Yeah, I've got a large frame, and this can hold a lot of weight, so I could put it onto there.
There you go. You're laughing then.
But again, it comes down to at the end of the day, I don't want to have to work around the mic. You know, that doesn't make any sense. I still want to get the best mic quality. So, But the thing is, would this work better? For example, so
it's got to be pointed out though, Kev. Is if you've got that thing mounted above you and it's pointing towards the ceiling, then that woman you've got locked up in your loft. Yeah, her screams are going to be picked up. So bear that in mind.
Well, the thing is, like, you'll know yourself, like, whenever you buy a new mic, you need to find the right gain level. You need to tweak things until you get it set up correctly. And even like the Shure SM7B here, if I put in another good mic that other people say is good, if I put it in and use the same levels as this, it won't sound good. I'll have to, tweak it and mess about with it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think I'll need to do the same with this. I'll need to, play around with it. I'll need to play around with it, try and get it in a good position.
The other thing as well is they're going to sound quite different because they've got two completely different use cases. So if you're sort of tucked into the the SM7B like Tony Blackburn or whatever, and then you've got your mates speaking into that boomed above him, they're not going to match up. But then it doesn't really matter per se, does it? I mean, you're not trying to you're not making Mindhunter, are you? You're just speaking into mics.
No, I know. The thing is, Kevin, why have you got one of those uncomfortable chairs? Why don't you get what's that?
How do you know it's uncomfortable? Like, he sat in it, not you, you pillock.
It's a really comfortable chair, actually. What
if you've got those really uncomfortable boxer shorts on Hugh? Why don't you put a more comfortable pair on?
What I'm going to do is... So what I'm going to just quickly look for... Is this the... See if I can find this. Right, so... I've got the... What Nollis was talking about there was the polar pattern. And if I zoom in here... polar diagram... So this is what Nollis was talking about, how it will still pick up a little bit at the back of the mic, whereas, my SM7B only picks up audio from the front. Here you've got a little bit, behind the 90 degrees line, you're still going to pick up a little bit at the back there. But it seems quite a wide, compared to, this one isn't hypercardioid, is it? Or it is hypercardioid?
The Sennheiser, I think it's hypercardioid, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, if Gary was suggesting there to come round for a bevy, always welcome, Gary, even though I don't drink anymore. That's another story. But say, for example, Gary was sitting here with me. I don't think this would be good for two people because, the actual... you would need one of these for each person, I think.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good for two of you, not unless you both shrunk down in size and sat on each other's lap.
Or we both sat and just kind of leaned into the mic like that.
Yeah.
It does, and first impressions, and again, I haven't tested it thoroughly. I've not tried in a lot of different positions. But if I can, mess around with this magic arm and try and get it onto this stand and then mess about with the gain levels, I might be able to get a level where it points at me where I'm facing the camera and I don't have to use the Shure. I would say though, up close, this sounds really good. Like almost like basically like Shure SM7B quality when you're up close. I'm not sure if people use this for voiceovers as well.
I think some people do, to be honest. Yeah, they do.
The only thing is, I wouldn't really... I've got an XLR to 3.5mm connection. It's actually, I think it's a Sennheiser adapter, but because it requires phantom power, I don't think I'll be able to use that. But I could use this with an audio interface downstairs, and maybe I could use this downstairs with my Zoom U24 or something, put it into a stand and just talk into it. Maybe that's a use case.
Yeah, you'd have to have a bit of a play about. The only thing
I need to play around with it, but
I give you a bit of caution on the Magic Arm, because obviously you dropped over 300 quid on the mic. You don't want to turn it into a bunch of flowers, do you?
Oh, this is just a basic one. The one I've got up there is the Super Clamp, which is an absolute tank. It can hold 15 kilograms, which is insane.
Yeah, I think my gag sailed over your head then.
Yeah.
I said you don't want to turn it into a bunch of flowers.
Right.
It's a Magic Arm.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you've said a few things that were over my head today. I've got too many things here in front of me. Too much
you've had an eventful day, mate.
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I have. I had an eventful morning where I bumped into someone with my car. Let's put it that way. That's the polite way of saying it.
So Hugh's done his classic sort of going back on himself here. Earlier on, he was having a go at you for having too much production kit, but now he's actually telling you need to upgrade your headphones. So,
well, actually, I am looking at. I've got what I've been using recently is the Amazon wish list to have a list of all the things I want to buy, which is what wish lists are for. But I'm using it specifically for YouTube as far as the equipment I want to buy, and I do have 1 or 2 different pairs of headphones on there. The reason I've not changed headphones is because these are excellent. I love them. They're comfortable, and the audio quality is good. So never had any problems with them. So if it ain't broke,
but you should know by now that, you know, it doesn't matter if you like them. If someone on the internet tells you got to upgrade, and then you have to. Yeah,
I know. That's the way it goes. I got these sent to me. Fireton True Wireless headphones, so I'll maybe use them running or around the house or something. Give them a try.
Oh, okay.
I've also got this to test this week. Pengo 4K. I'll talk about this in the video. So basically, I did the introduction the other day, but I need to do more tests with it. It says 4K HDMI grabber. Where is it? What is the autofocus doing today?
Pengo.
Literally no autofocus is working today. But what I'm trying to show you is the fact it says 4K HDMI grabber. The box says 4K 60 frames per second, and it can't do that. Basically, everyone caught them out and said, no, it's 4K pass-through. You can't record in that. So, yeah. I'll check it out, though. If it's not Chinese Kevin or second-hand Kevin isn't buying it. For a lot of things, yes, that is true. For a lot of things, that's true.
What if it's Chinese and second-hand? Does that
Chinese
cancel it?
second-hand, that would be amazing. That's the perfect. That's the
holy grail for you, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, it certainly is.
Is this mic Chinese? Yes. Is it used? Bong. I'm on it.
What would that be? What's the second-hand market for eBay?
Colossal.
I think, like, up close, this microphone sounds excellent. You're like
yeah. If anything, you probably. I was gonna say, if anything, your levels probably, given how close you are now, is probably a little bit high because you're clipping occasionally.
I'll turn it down a little bit. So yeah, is that a little bit better? A little bit better now.
Yes. Yeah. Although bear in mind where you are now, you're almost off axis.
Where I am now.
Well, nah, not quite. So you're pretty close to it. It's fine.
What I want to do, Nollis, I'll show you this. You'll maybe find this interesting, right? So I'm gonna set the Shure SM7B over here, right? I'm not doing anything.
You're gonna have to employ a Chinese boom operator for your future videos now.
Yeah. Where have we got here?
Hugh, I can assure you, your Sennheiser with one N gaming headset mic does not sound as good as an MK416. You're hearing it through God knows how many layers of compression.
Right. So this is what I want to show you, Nollis, and everyone who's watching. I do appreciate everyone watching, and I realise that, you know, sometimes when you guys have been posting comments, I've not been showing you. I've not been replying. Sorry. So this is my audio interface, and this is the 2 mics there. So you can see the first channel here, right? So the first channel, I'll put this down at the corner here, right? So the first channel, the one that's away down at minus infinity, that is the Shure SM7B. The one that's bouncing around the yellow mark is the Sennheiser MKH 416, i.e. this one. Now, what I'm trying to show you is, see this microphone, cardioid? I'm going to push that over there and see if I don't do anything. See how it's still bouncing around?
Try hitting the mute button, the M, on it. Because I know you've got the mixer down to infinity, but I'm just wondering if that'll make much of a difference.
No, well, you won't hear it anyway. What I'm trying to show you is, see if I don't speak for a second, you'll notice that this one has nothing. See how it's at minus 70 there? So the MKH, basically the SM7B, it still kind of bounces around a little bit, quite low. Maybe I've got it muted, but it's basically this ID software. It'll still show you, like if you've got it muted, it'll still show you what it would be showing.
Up,
exactly. You know, as a guide, which means that when you unmute it, you know what level it's at. But you can tell.
So your mic 1 is the Shure, and the mic 2 is the Sennheiser.
Yeah, mic 1's the Shure SM7B, but you can see now it's still going. There's still like a little Oh, it's better now. It's out of the way now. Anyway, the point is that what I was trying to demonstrate was here there is nothing. When I stop talking, there doesn't seem to be any background noise or nothing kind of going on in the background. The reason I'm pointing this out is that I have tried different mics before and I've plugged them in and they always kind of bounce around. You know, they're bouncing around because they're picking up something, you know, especially condenser mics.
Weirdly, you'd think it would be the other way around because generally speaking, condenser mics are going to pick up more ambient noise than dynamic mics. But then it's worth bearing in mind, though, that your SM7B has got a FET head, which is boosting about 25 decibels of gain onto it, whereas the Sennheiser isn't. Yeah. So that's going to have an impact.
You think I would need that? Do you think that is something that would help?
What a booster?
Yeah, because I get 60 decibels of gain with the ID22 audio interface.
Fair enough. There is FET head do a booster which works with phantom mics as well. It doesn't give as much of a boost as it does for dynamics, but then you wouldn't need as much of a boost anyway because they're much more sensitive anyway. They make one which I think gives you about 18 decibels, and it still channels the phantom power through to the mic. But I don't know whether you'd need that really, to be honest.
So what you're talking about is this one, FET head Phantom preamp for condenser microphones.
Yes.
So good old Chris Judd has got a review.
Yes.
So that's different. Obviously, that's a different one from what I'm using just now.
Yeah.
The one I'm using
now is for dynamic mics, so it offers it takes the phantom power and it doesn't pass it through, and it gives something like 25 or 26 decibels of gain, whereas the other one does pass the phantom power through because of course the mic still needs it, but then it doesn't give it as much gain. I think it gives it something like 15 or 18 decibels.
Yeah, 18 decibels it is.
Yeah, but they don't need anything like as much anyway. I mean, you know.
It says, it's about £68 or something there. I don't know if we can get cheaper than that. Oh, in fact, 58. Is that right? Or is that the original? Why would you need, would it not work with the original anyway? If the original is cheaper?
You mean the one you've already got?
Yeah.
No, because that doesn't pass phantom power through to the mic.
Oh, right. It's just increasing the gain. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so effectively, the one you've got takes the phantom power and gives a shitload of gain to the mic, whereas that one takes...
Yeah, the one I've got is using the one is using the phantom power to be powered almost.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the other one takes phantom power to power itself, but it still passes through the power. Hence the reason it doesn't give as much gain. But condenser mics don't need as much gain anyway.
Yeah, because I think the other one gives 25. Yeah, that makes sense. It could be a handy thing to have. I mean, a FET head. It's one of those things, you know, I could buy an audio interface that does 60. I could buy one that does, you like the Mix Pre 2, and I could get one that does 75. But having a FET head just makes it a little bit more flexible in that, you know, you can transfer it to any audio interface, any device.
The only trouble with the Triton FET heads is that, A, I don't know if you'd be able to get a second hand, and B, they're from Holland, not China. So according to Hugh,
the other option is that I don't think Cloudlifter do one, do they? Like that's for Phantom power?
Not with Phantom, no.
Yeah.
Although they do units which will power, I think, 2 and 3 and 4 mics, which is quite good. But they're quite a bit more expensive, those Cloudlifters.
Yeah.
Probably because they're American and they go through the whole import tax and all that nonsense. Whereas Triton, I think, are based in the Netherlands, so they definitely work out cheaper.
Yeah, if they're being sold in Europe, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, well, with sterling being like the peso at the moment, then buying anything from overseas costs an absolute fortune, doesn't it? But
yeah.
There you go.
Hugh's saying, what is the point of having a good mic if it goes through all that compression? Well, the compression isn't going to reduce the overall quality. Is the video you don't really have to worry about with the compression, really. You will notice the difference between a good mic and a bad mic. Put on a gaming headset, as you say. I know Sennheiser make good gaming headsets, but it's still a headset. And headsets will never replace a dedicated
to be honest,
like
Hugh,
that or that.
Hugh has flawed logic anyway. Because if you saw any TV program, let alone the high-end stuff, if you saw what that looked like to begin with, a lot of that stuff, high-end drama and stuff, is shot either raw or unbelievably high bit rates. And even when it goes out on Netflix, it's only going to go out to 15 megabits per second. So by that logic, you'd say, what's the point filming this in like 400, 500, 600 megabits per second if it's only going to end up being compressed out to 15? Because you start at the highest quality you possibly can. Believe me, they're not running around filming, Mindhunter on 20-year-old phones or using Logitech gaming headsets for mics. Trust me, because if they did, it would sound absolutely fucking terrible.
Agreed. Yeah, I'll get use out of this microphone anyway. I still need to think about how I'm going to use it. I think downstairs it could actually be a good microphone for downstairs, where I make a setup with the audio U24 and I just kind of point it towards me. As you were saying, like 30 centimeters, this kind of direction could be a good position for it downstairs.
Yeah, about 30 centimeters and sort of angled downwards, because that way it's not gonna. The idea is you just want to try and minimize. You've got to know the pickup pattern and try and position it in such a way that you're picking up as little noise that you don't want it to pick up. So in other words, if you're standing opposite a fridge, you ideally want it point sort of up and dangling down towards you, because then the fridge is likely not to be in the pickup pattern. Whereas if you were to stand and position it so that the back end was pointing towards the fridge, then it's going to start picking that up as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, Hugh, it's not about future-proofing. Sorry, you don't understand. I'm not going to go down that route with you. It's not about future-proofing. Future-proofing maybe let's shoot something in 8K now, even though we don't need it 8K. Shooting it in the highest possible quality and the highest possible sound. It's not about future-proofing. So, that's that.
Yeah, Hugh seems to be agreeing with you.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, I think
it's good you've got a legit one. That's a bonus.
Well, I mean that's what I'm happy about. That's the only thing I wanted. Again, I don't know if this is a microphone I'm going to be using all the time, but there are going to be situations where this is going to come in handy. I'm curious as to how something like this would perform in different situations. Like I could put it up there in a boom position, like you said, but I could maybe use it downstairs. I might even see if it was just a great one for downstairs, that it would be worth it just for that alone. But I'm curious as to how it would sound like in a car and things like that as well. You don't know how, maybe you could get an interface where you aim it towards you in a car.
A lot of people record sound in cars because, assuming you're in a quiet place, i.e. you're not, on a lay-by on the M1 or whatever, you can actually get, cars can actually sound, they could be quite sort of isolated from noise. And I mean, there's quite a lot of people who record VO and stuff in a car, in the dead of night, because it doesn't have the echo problems and what have you.
Yeah, because it's contained.
Necessarily of rooms, yeah.
Yeah,
so you'd be surprised, actually. Although, to be honest with you, given the sort of, the space restrictions of the inside of a car, I'm not sure I'd want to be using one of those, because it's.
I think with this is really just the movement and all that would be picking up as well, and rumble and all that. In my house, though, I think this could be a really good microphone.
Yeah, to be honest with you, in a car, stationary, quiet, it would probably be fine. But if you're on the go, that would be a disaster. It would just be picking up road noise and all sorts.
Yeah.
And you'd need like the world's biggest shock mount to isolate it from all the bumps and stuff as well.
World's biggest shock mount.
Yeah. You'd have to have the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man set that old in it.
I'm curious as to what it will pick up though if I put it really far away. Let's see. So how does it sound now? Audio level is going down and down and down and down and down and back. Yeah, it does seem to be. It does seem to be a lot closer than I thought it would be. But again, it comes down to what you were saying, that you want it above you more than anything else. You want it to be above you and pointing down at you. I think.
Yeah, the thing as well is it depends on the room. Because if the room is really echoey or reverberant, then you hear more of the room then than you would if the room was sort of, more optimal for sound. But, the room is the room at the end of the day. It's.
If I can get it, well, here it would be pointing like you were saying with the fridge earlier on. Here it would just be pointing down at my desk almost.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to pick up many echoes. So it could be a good microphone for that. But again, this is something, even if I only use it once or twice a month over the next 5 years, it's going to end up being a really good buy.
Yeah, well, the thing with that is if you decided in, a month or 3 months or a year or whatever that you thought, well, actually, I don't think I'm going to use this, you're not exactly going to take much of a hit selling it.
No.
The odds are you'd sell it for what you paid for it.
And what I would do actually is beware of fakes and then take a picture of the capsule and the inside to show people the real one. Make sure that people know that this is a real one.
Yeah, well, I wonder whether it even entered anyone's head that they were buying a fake, they're buying a second-hand one. I think it's just the kind of the ones that are brand new and boxed on eBay that are suspiciously half the price of the real ones. I just don't understand how people buy those and think they're legit.
Well, I think with most things, you want the box, you want the manual, you want, things like that. But if there's a difference between 300 and 900, what is the point of paying an extra 600 for a manual and a box is just going to sit on a shelf somewhere? It makes absolutely no sense. Especially with something like this. This is the sort of thing, if it works, it works. I don't think there's anything wrong with the capsule. I know that capsules can have problems and all that as well. It's, it's the internals that you need to worry about. But on the surface, everything seems
on the flip side of that, what's the point in spending 500 quid on a fake if you can spend 850 quid on a real one?
Yeah, I know.
It's one thing buying a Rolex for 50 quid from a guy on a beach, but you wouldn't buy one off him for $5,000 just because the real ones are 10, would you?
I know. You paid £300 for that mic. What? That's the thing. People don't realise how expensive YouTube equipment is, or how expensive recording equipment is. Sorry, not YouTube equipment. That's wrong. Recording audio equipment, filming equipment, cameras, audio. Knowledge, you know this yourself. You're buying a lot of audio equipment as well, and it isn't cheap. Yeah. Not if you want stuff. Cheap. And the thing is as well, what people forget is that even with the consumer level, this is probably the pro level. I would say probably a prosumer level.
No, it's I wouldn't say it's prosumer. I'd say it's probably like entry level pro.
Entry level.
In other words, it's professional. Yeah, it is. It's not prosumer. It's definitely
So it's definitely above. Yeah, it's definitely like this is something that's used on movies and television shows and all that. Yeah. But what people don't realize though is that it can be expensive to get even something that isn't that good. Like take the Blue Yeti for example, which I have. A lot of people, I've said this many times, see the amount of people that say the Blue Yeti is the best microphone to buy because it's the only microphone they have is ridiculous. But it's like over £100 and it's versatile, but it isn't that good. It's not a fantastic mic. It really isn't a fantastic mic, but it's £100. Even something like this little microphone on top here, that's about $250 or $200 or something. That little microphone there, $200. You get the Rode Video Micro. Everyone recommends it. I've got it. It's okay. It is quite good for what it is, but you're talking £60 for something that doesn't sound that much better than your smartphone. There really is layers of this, as far as the quality, and you reach a certain point, and Norlis will say that you reach a certain point and you have to spend money if you want to improve the audio or you want to improve the video. There's just no other way about it. You have to spend money.
Yeah, it's I think these days you can get pretty remarkable performance for not what to most people what comparatively is small amounts of money. That is,
yeah.
But then it's all relative, isn't it? If you said to a sound recorders 20 years ago that you'd be able to buy a mic for under 200 quid, like say a Rode NTG2, and that it would be decent, they probably would laugh at it. Yeah, but whereas
an NTG4 Plus as well.
Yeah, but then if you say to a person down the pub, I spent 200 quid on mic, they think, well, that sounds like a lot of money. But of course, it is relative to what you're talking about. I mean,
but exact same the same example. You say to someone, I spent $2,000 on a camera. Like, why are you doing that? Your phone can do 4K.
Exactly.
It's yeah. But yeah, I've got a lot of tests to do with this. No, I'm pleased with it though, and I know Hugh is saying £300. What? I think I've got an absolute bargain with this. I really do think I've got a bargain with this.
Yeah.
What I'm showing you right now though, this isn't how I'm going to use it. I'm not going to be using it with this tripod in front of me. That's not how I will be using this. Like Nollis was saying, I'll probably put it up higher up, or maybe I'll use it in a different situation downstairs. But this isn't how I'm going to be using it. But I think £300 for this is a really good price, considering the quality of the mic. And I know my mic levels are probably off just now, guys. It's maybe not loud enough. I've probably not got it loud enough right now.
Yeah, but to be fair, you've done what most people on YouTube wouldn't do, which is you've effectively unboxed it, set it up, and started using it all live, as opposed to, getting everything set up optimally before you start using it. I mean, so
you know that. I mean, how many problems did I get this? First, I couldn't open the box. I couldn't get it open with a Stanley knife. Then my tripod broke, and then
then your other tripod broke.
Yeah, then my other tripod broke. And then I took the capsule out. But it's good doing these things live. I think it's good to do this, and you can't recreate, your original impressions of something, and that's what's the good thing about a live stream as well, to show people, actually what your initial impressions are. I'm pleased with it though. I think I've done well.
I think a few people will probably end up watching this because it's quite a, the title alone is sort of quite to the point, and there's
clickbaity.
Well, I would say it's clickbaity. I mean, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I genuinely didn't know if it was fake or real.
Genuinely didn't know. It wasn't a pre-produced video where you knew before you even posted it that it was legitimate.
I looked at the grill and it was kind of all messed up in the photos on eBay, and I thought, maybe it's probably just used. And then I saw the letters, and I was looking at the letters, going, that does look fake. That does look fake. Yeah. I was all prepared to send this back via PayPal, but. Yeah, it seems legit. It looks like, we saw the capsule and all that. All of that seems okay, and it seems to be performing okay. Who knows, though? Maybe a year down the line, we'll find out that the Chinese counterfeit guys have just upped their game, and they're now faking the capsules as well, which would not surprise me. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll revisit this in a year, and I have got a fake one. Who knows?
Well, I don't know.
On the surface, though, it does look like I've got the legit one. If you look at the black screw, the capsule inside, the grill, the printing and all that of the brand name.
Well, put it this way: none of the ones that were the counterfeit mics, which have been shown in various YouTube videos of it, whenever they've sort of analysed them and dismantled them, not one of the fakes has gone to the amount of trouble that if that was a fake. I mean, with proper Sennheiser stickers and everything on it. I very much doubt it is. I mean, I'd be amazed if it was, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Hughes. I really think you're overspending. He's
giving you some business advice again.
It's you are. Grammar, please. Yes, grammar, please. I really think you are overspending for your size.
That's right.
Well, I'll address this. Right? Because you made this comment earlier, Hugh, and I didn't address it because I was focusing on something else. Am I overspending for my YouTube size, right? So, the question is, when should you spend money? When should you spend money on good quality video, on good quality audio? When should you spend money? Is it when you have 500 subscribers, 1,000? 100,000? 1 million? When do you start spending money and say, right, I want to up my quality, I want to produce better quality videos, better quality footage, I want to get the better equipment? When do you do it? Do you have to wait until you get to 100,000? I think there's a good argument that my channel would be much, much bigger if I'd spent money 2-3 years ago. And I think the best time to spend money is when you can afford to do it and buy it and then move forward with it. Yeah, if you can afford it, eSocks. Content is king, Q, but I do think that you have to have the right equipment. And at the end of the day, I can produce really good reviews, but my videos aren't going to look as polished or as professional as someone else that's using a camera that costs $2,000 and a microphone that costs $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, that old adage, content is king, but then equally, I think the two things go hand in hand, because it's true to say content's king, but then if you look at the best content will also have decent production value. I doubt, well, you name it, Game of Thrones, and you name any other super popular TV series or film, you know, they wouldn't have been anything like as popular as if they'd have been made on a budget of 2 bob and looked, you know, even if the characters had been the same and the writing had been the same, if the thing had been, you know, done on a budget of 7.8 billion and looked and sounded shit, no one would have bothered with it.
And the same principle applies on YouTube. Like like you referencing top YouTubers. Which of these top YouTubers are using cheap mics and cheap cameras? Name one. You know, one YouTuber that's got over like 200, 300,000 subscribers that's using cheap equipment. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I'll be honest, I've never heard of Super Saf. I'll have to look him or her.
No, Super Saf's good, but what I would say is that Super Saf, his videos are really good, comes across as a really nice guy, very high quality videos, but he's not someone that inspires me, if I'm honest, because I get inspired from a lot of other people and a lot of other YouTubers in the tech field. I get inspired from their videos because their style of videos more closely resembles the kind of stuff I do. Superstaff does things in a lot of different ways. He's always posting selfies and doing all these other things. It's not me. It doesn't suit my personality and it doesn't suit the style of videos I'm going to do. His videos are good, but he is not someone that I look at and say those are the types of videos that I want to do. He does come across as a really nice guy, you know. But I'm sure I like tech tablets. I can draw a lot of inspiration from him. Dave Cryer from Geekanoids. There's a lot of other YouTube channels, and just the style of doing videos and just the way that they produce videos, you know, as far as in depth. Another criticism I'll get from time to time on YouTube is, oh, why is your video so long? So, for example, I did a review of the GoPro Hero 7 White. It's an hour long, and 80% of the comments are, thank you, all these other videos are too short. I want to learn about the camera. Your video really helped me. But then there's 20% of saying, you know, 20% of people saying, oh, why isn't this video 5 minutes long? I don't have the time to look through this video. I don't care. I'm not doing videos for those people. There's enough YouTube channels out there doing videos which are 5 minutes polished. My criticism of those, they're fantastic looking, they're professional, video, audio quality is fantastic, but they really tell me anything that I can't get from the sales page. That's one of my criticism of those kind of reviews, where I try and break stuff and show what I like and all that. I'm not saying every video is good, because it's not, but
so some people like that kind of sound bite kind of thing, don't they? You know, 4 or 5 minutes, either because they just don't have time to watch anything more, or because, I hate to say this, I do generally think there's a very short attention span amongst people now, particularly younger people.
Oh yeah, I think it was
they're not interested in anything.
It's definitely proven that that's the best from an SEO point of view, from a search engine optimization point of view. That's the best thing to do.
But, you know, the reason they do it is because obviously it takes less time to make a 5-minute video than a 50-minute video. And the other thing is, you can get it with a lot of these products. They're in this race to sort of get out there first and try and get the views. Well, so they post these videos which are 5 minutes, like you say. They don't really, you know, they may look and sound quite nice, but they don't really tell you. They come across oftentimes as just like a kind of a promotional piece for the manufacturer.
Well, that's what I was going to say. No, that's because a lot of them are. Like The Verge recently, their iPhone, they did an iPhone video and they were basically sponsored or paid by Apple to do it, or they have some sort of partnership thing. So they have a 5-6 minute video. It didn't tell me anything I couldn't get from the sales page. I'm just saying about it does this, it does that. They're not actually giving an honest review. So it puts you in a difficult position, because when a company, you need to have a good working relationship with companies for them to send you products to review, but you still have to keep your integrity and give an honest review and tell people the truth about a product, because people are going to go out and save money and then, you know, put their money down to buy it.
So, but also, as you said, you touched on earlier on, a lot of it's about different audiences, isn't it? You know, you think about The Verge, as far as I'm aware, is a kind of a sort of it's like a kind of a general media platform, and they produce content of a certain style aimed at a certain more casual view. I don't want to knock what they do, but to be honest with you, if I wanted to really know about a particular phone or a video card or whatever it was, I wouldn't be looking on The Verge for advice. I mean, I know they did a PC build, which has just been absolutely slammed by just about anyone who knows anything.
I remember
and I understand that. They're not experts necessarily. They're just people producing content, and that's fine. There's a market for kind of generic content that, you know, average people are quite willing to sit down and watch or listen to. But, you know, frankly, it's not really for me. And then you said it's not for you. So, whatever.
Well, that's the thing. There's room for everyone. And you can't please everyone. See, if I had to respond, or anyone had to respond to every single YouTube demand from a commenter, you wouldn't produce any... You couldn't do anything, because some people want this, some people want that. And you do have to kind of, stick to your guns a little bit and do what you like. And there's always going to be areas for improvement, though. But what I would say to those people, though, go out and try it yourself. It's not easy to do content and please everyone. It's nigh on impossible. You can't
exactly.
do it.
You can never please everyone.
No, and again, go back to what you're saying. Someone recording Game of Thrones, there are people that probably hate that TV show.
Yeah.
But
yeah, well, the point I was just making there is that, yes, content is hugely important, but I think people expect a certain level of image quality, sound quality, production standard, and I think you could have great content, but if the thing was inaudible and looked terrible, you just wouldn't have much of an audience. That's the honest truth.
And that's why I need to spend money, because I didn't think that my quality, the video quality and audio quality, was good enough.
You need to find anything secondhand and Chinese that's on the internet and buy it straight away. That's what you need to do.
Wow, Hugh's all got you're in all guns today, man. You're all guns blazing today. Just keep the criticism coming. Come on. My God, Hugh, you're a tough man to please. Hugh,
how did you
like
cope
to be your girlfriend or boyfriend?
How did you cope when you managed to hit 5 million subscribers on your channel, by the way? How did you deal with it? Did you take on an additional member of staff, or did you, what did you do?
The thing is, there's certain things I know about my YouTube channel, and I think you need to take some criticism on the chin, but there's a reason that my thumbnails aren't good, because they take time. Like, for me to spend a lot of time doing thumbnails, it would be like an extra half an hour per video. I just do quick photos, get it uploaded. And it all comes down to time. How much time do you have to do this? All these top channels have dedicated designers to do this. It's very hard being a one-man band and trying to do everything.
I know they're very, very clickbaity a lot of the time, and I can't stand that trend where people use thumbnails with some massive expression of surprise on their face. You just think,
with
what on earth is that supposed to be?
Yeah, Do your ears touch the drivers on your headphones? As far as touching the actual side, my V Moda. No, well, I'm not sure I 100% understand the question, if I'm honest. Touch the drivers.
I think he means like the actual. So in other words, are they touching the sort of the membrane of the headphone, as opposed to another, or is a little
bit? They're kind of resting on it a little bit, but not too much. I've got the XL cups on these ones, though. I bought the extra size cups on this.
You gotta love a nice set of large cups, haven't you?
Yeah. These ones, just again, I was too slow to
Oh dear.
Sorry,
I've warped in here from 1974. It's just terrible jokes.
Alf Garnett. Not Alf Garnett, sorry, it would be like more Benny Howe, I guess, wouldn't it? The default ear cushions for these are super small, and they just hurt your ears, but these are the XL ones, so it's okay.
Big cushions.
Yeah. But Hugh, Knowles, why do I need to have 5 million subscribers to give feedback?
Well, I didn't say you did need to have 5 million subscribers to give feedback. I just asked how you dealt with having 5 million subscribers.
I think the thing is, I do take some criticism on the chin. There's maybe some things someone can tell me that I don't know. A lot of things I'm not doing for a reason. But most of those reasons would probably be time. Some would be experience as well, because you'll get some people and they'll say, why don't you edit your videos in that way? And I'm like, I'm not a video editor. I don't know how to do that still. And I'd have to go back and learn a lot of different techniques. Plus, I've said this a lot of times. I don't want to spend like an hour recording a video and 4 days editing.
Yeah,
I would prefer to just record again and do a live stream or you know.
Yes, it's basically it's a contrast of styles, isn't it? I mean, there are people on YouTube that produce videos, and they're very nice videos, and they're like 10, 15, 20 minutes long, whatever. But you can see, well, this is the thing. Maybe a lot of people watching, most people watching, probably don't realize this because they don't operate in this field. But
yeah,
those things will take a lot of time and effort. And if you're someone who wants to spend, who's got the luxury of being able to spend that time to spend a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks making a video and put one out every couple of weeks, that's fine. That's great. But you've gone for a more sort of conversational sort of vlog style thing where it's just, this is the thing, here it is, and opted not to make videos where you're spending 2-3 weeks making them, and all these different sort of styles are completely legitimate.
The interesting thing is, see, like with the recent iPhone launch, all the top YouTubers, all the top tech people, they get invited to the event, and they get, here's the phone, test it out at the actual conference. Now, those people's, those YouTubers, their videos are normally quite, polished, edited really well, really nice transitions. They've got music through it and all that, but they might have started off doing that themselves. But I suspect that the majority of them, what they've got is dedicated designers and editors doing all this in the background so they can focus on recording. But during a live event where they're trying to rush out, after the iPhone announcement, they want their video out. They want it out quickly. They want to be one of the first videos to say, hey, here's the new iPhone 11, here's the iPhone 11 Pro. They don't have the time to do that. So what you get is probably more my style of video, where it's like vlogging, here's the video, and it's just a quick edit, a couple of quick edits. And it's, again, comes down to time. When you've got a lot of staff, if I was in a position where I was making a lot of money through this and I could hire someone, I could hire a video editor, they can make my videos more professional and all that. And that's when you do step up. It's not like a TV show or a film is all done by one person, very rarely anyway.
Well, the SOX 71 said he came here because he said live.
Oh,
so
thanks, SOX. Yeah,
it is live.
I'm gonna put live in all my videos now. get extra few views.
Yeah. Well, there's always that thing they talk about, the long tail, and I got a feeling that this video will have a long tail because of the title of it. Although,
well, I mean, I know myself that there's a lot of people looking for the fake versus real thing with this microphone, or just microphones in general, as to what to look for. Yeah, but interestingly though, when I was looking, like this is the thing, and again it goes back to what I was saying. I'm not criticizing some of these top YouTubers. They're, the quality is excellent. They have millions of subscribers for a reason, and I don't think any of these guys got millions of subscribers through luck. They got it through hard work. They're very professional. They're good content creators. But I do think there's a lot of them, again, from a buyer's point of view, they don't tell me anything that I can't get from the specs page or the sales page. I can get that information myself. And when I'm trying to fix a problem or find out an answer, running a YouTube channel or running a podcast, you're constantly going, how do I do this or how do I do that? And you're Googling things and you're checking videos. And the videos that always tell me how to do something, how do you set up a mic? How do you fix that? How do you position this monitor? How do you do that? It's never the top guys. It's always the small YouTubers with their, quick, here's me doing a video with my smartphone. Those are the ones that are doing the smaller videos. Oh, there's David Tarry. Hey, David, good to see you.
Yeah, and also those tend to be the ones who more often than not will give a pretty genuine and sort of thorough opinion of something.
Well, there's a good example.
Those big channels, I mean, to be honest with you, they've made it a business, and to be honest, and that's fine. And their content to me is more about entertainment or passing the time than actual information, because as you say, they won't tell you things that you don't already know, and they've got into a position where they're getting sent stuff, they've been sponsored, they've been paid to do stuff, and that's all fine and good. They declare that they've been sent it, they declare that such and such is a sponsor. It's all fine, but you've got to ask yourself, if you're in a situation where you've got a really good relationship with Canon or with Sony or with Sennheiser, those people are never, ever going to trash a product, even if it deserves to be trash, because they know what will happen. The plug will be pulled on it. And then
interesting you bring that up. For those who don't know, David Harry has just joined in. I don't know if you're still watching David. David's a YouTuber, kind of similar, YouTube channel size. David's from Liverpool. He's saying, why bother spend a lot of time producing a video unless you're getting a load of views? David actually criticised Rode a lot on one of their microphones, and he trashed them, but then they tried to fix it and then sent him some stuff to say sorry. But that's the exception and not the rule. I would say that what you're saying is right, Noel. It's that there's a lot of documentation, a lot of people talking in the background on Reddit about the fact that if any of these people do criticise Canon or Sony, they just don't get invited to the event, which means that they are 3 to 4 weeks behind on their YouTube channel. That's as far as the reviews going out.
Yeah, I mean, a good example that springs to mind, talking about cameras, is there's a guy called, I know you know of him because we talked about him before. This guy's got a blog site called Andrew Reid.
Right.
And he's a Brit who now lives in Germany. And his site has been, it's quite well known for people who take an interest in cameras. But he buys the cameras himself. And when he reviews them, if he thinks it's praiseworthy, he's very praiseworthy. And if he thinks something's crap, he calls it like it is. And he is not sort of the flavor of the month with a lot of these manufacturers, simply because he's quite uncompromising in his view about it. And he's quite open about how such and such a YouTube and such a blog site will get invited, get all these goodies, and they get showered and given all the trinkets and all the rest of it, because they're effectively, a lot of these people are kind of,
shells. How
can you put it? Well, some of them are shills. Some of them are just, I wouldn't say they're necessarily shills, but they're sort of, they're very, they have a cozy relationship, if you can put it that way.
Yeah. Well, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. I'm sure it's, David's obviously been in a lot of situations. He'll maybe share a lot of my opinions on this kind of stuff. I'm maybe in a position now, I know Hugh's saying I'm spending too much money, but I'm maybe in a position now where a lot of companies will start paying attention and maybe approach me more to send me things. So I will be put in a lot of these positions to say, I'm not going to say that you're put in a position, do you give them a good review for the sake of it, but you will be put in a position where you're going to have to deal with them complaining at you. I've had this on my website as well, and I've had it with video reviews where they've sent me something and I've criticised them and they said, you can't say that. I'm like, yes, I can. It's my website. It's my YouTube channel. I can say what I want. Well, that wasn't the agreement. I'm like, you said you'd send me it. I didn't agree to say one particular thing or another. But then there's other times where you get something sent free and it is legitimately really good. So you need to try and be consistent, but it's one of those things. If you don't, I mean, it's hard. It's hard. I can understand why some people don't criticize too much and so much in that, especially with a tech review channel. It's so expensive to keep buying equipment, especially if you're not going to get the money back from it. It's money down the drain. It really is money down the drain.
Well, let's just say you were in a position where you had Sony, Canon, Fuji, all not only sending you cameras, lenses, and also saying, don't worry about sending it back. They're not actually spelling out, we are giving you this, but they're just sending you stuff, and don't worry about returning it. So effectively, they're giving it to you. You're going to think twice about trashing anything they make, aren't you? Because it's going to have a big impact on you. It's understandable, isn't it? They're in a situation which they may not have intended to be in, but they are in that situation.
Those companies, they do that because some of them will specify if it's positive. They'll just come out and bluntly say it. Others will dance around it. But it's kind of, there's certain things as well. Like, I reviewed the newer green screen the other day, right, sitting in the background there, and I didn't mention this in the video. I didn't want to really go down that route. One, because of YouTube and the copyright thing. I've been down this before, where if you review a product and mention another product that's maybe copied from, you get the video taken down. So I was like, right, I'm not going to mention the Elgato right now because I'm scared about the video being taken down. But I reviewed it. They've obviously looked at the Elgato pop-up green screen and said, right, we can do this. We can do it better. Now, I've not tested another green screen before, so I've tested it. I've pointed out the fact that it bobbles, but is the Elgato better? I don't know. And now I'm in a position, well, the only way for me to know if that's better than the Elgato is to go out and buy it. But why the hell would I buy it when I don't need it, when I have one? So you can only review the one that you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird, the positions you're put in sometimes with this. By the way, as just a regular mic, just talking into it, this is really good.
Yeah.
As far as the noise floor.
Its reputation is well deserved.
Yeah. especially when it's real.
Yeah, exactly. It does help if it's real. If it's fake, obviously it's not quite so good, is it? Although I do remember once being told by someone when I was getting my hair cut once, and I was having a chat with we were talking about the football and football hooligans, Cardiff City, and I'm sure they're not the only ones, but a lot of them will wear stuff by Stone Island.
Yeah.
And I remember him telling me that apparently there was some place up in the valleys that was knocking out effectively Marks and Spencer's jumpers with the Stone Island logo on. He said the best of it is they were better than the real thing because they were Marks and Spencer's, not Stone Island. And they were a fraction of the price.
But that's the thing. There's a famous artist. I think he's in Europe. I can't remember who it was, but basically he found out, what was it? It was something like paintings that had a person in it, or had like a painting or something, or a boat or something. I can't remember. There was something like that. They were selling for like 50, 60, 70% more. So what he was doing was buying paintings that were valuable and then drawing things into them, drawing like a picture or like a human in the background, a guy in the back or a boat in the back, and then reselling them on, and they were selling for higher prices.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was basically just painting on top of someone else's work.
I assume he could draw as well.
Yeah, the guy was an established painter, but rather than just do things from scratch, he was taking paintings. They might have been like 100 years old, and some people might view them as defacing them, but other folk were saying always made them better.
Not like that famous painting in Spain that the cleaner tried to restore herself.
Yeah, that was tremendous. Yeah. Was that the one she was trying to clean it? She was trying to clean the painting?
No, I think it had faded and she just took it upon herself to kind of restore it.
And then she just drew on it.
It didn't look great.
Oh, that's tremendous.
But yeah. No, well, anyway, I think the whole sort of mechanics and economics of operating a YouTube channel and everything else, I think is in and of itself a topic worthy of discussion. The fact that it's happened to be bolted onto the end of one about a fake Sennheiser, it's quite humorous.
Oh, it's definitely. No, I mean, maybe we should have did that as a separate topic and all that. I think, like Hugh's obviously, posting some things that he doesn't like about my channel, but I think you can, if you break it down, you can criticize every single YouTube channel for something, because no one's perfect. We're all trying to improve it over time. We all make mistakes, and most YouTubers, probably 99%, are one-man bands or one-person bands. They don't have staff, and they're doing it all themselves. And they're going to, when you're doing everything yourself, there's going to be certain things you're good at, certain things you're not good at, and to be good at everything is quite rare. As far as some guys that are good at video are bad at presentation, or they're bad at thumbnails, or they're bad at descriptions, or they're bad at, I don't know. It's hard to be good at everything. But even if you look at the top YouTubers, you could again criticize them for the fact that they don't actually test the product. That would be my main criticism. They're not actually telling me anything that I can't get from the sales page, and they're saying, "Hey, look at this." And this comes down to the fact as well. It's maybe not their fault, but the way that the YouTube algorithm is designed is that it rewards everyone who gets the videos out quickly, which puts everyone who goes to the conference way ahead of the game, because they get the first page and no one clicks on it the second page anyway. But it gives them an unfair advantage. But what that means is they don't have any time to actually test anything. They don't have any time.
Sometimes.
And opinions change over time. That's the thing.
So sometimes things come out so quickly, you just know that even if they got it in advance, they can't have spent that much time looking at it.
Yeah,
it's just a puff piece, isn't it? And to be honest with you, if it's a niche product and nobody else has done it, and you're thinking about buying it, then maybe there is some value in like a flimsy kind of unboxing kind of video. But to be honest with you, you take anything really popular, like a big phone by Apple or Samsung, or something that's going to have kind of quite a broad appeal. I have, for the 90% of the time, I just don't understand why people waste their time with unboxings, because by the time you do it, there's already like 6 pages worth of the bloody things. You think, what else are you going to learn from like the 15th unboxing that you haven't already learned before?
This is something I've faced myself. I don't know if David's still watching. He's probably faced it as well. I bought the GoPro Hero 7 Black. I didn't buy it at launch. I bought it like 6 months later. I did an unboxing. I did a user interface thing, and it was all going to be part of this 1 hour long video. And then I realized at that point, I'm going to have to spend a full week of recording videos of testing it, of doing all this stuff, and I'm not going to rank anywhere. I am not going to rank. I had to be first and I missed the boat. Whereas if I go and buy a GoPro 8, I as long as I get a video out quickly, I won't be as quick as other guys, but as long as I go out quickly, I think I can maybe rank a little bit better just because I'm testing things. Like David's actually someone, I respect David a lot because David does test things. David tests things even more than I do when it comes to mics. But time is a factor, which means it pushes these people to just do a video without even testing it.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that for the reasons we've already covered, trying to be the first out of the gate with a product is a little bit of a fool's errand, because you're never going to compete with, you know, that guy, the 5 million subscribers who's got the product 3 weeks before you. You're just not going to be able to beat. I think there's a lot of value to be adding in, and I actually take a lot of value from videos about products that people have had for 3 months or 6 months, because frankly, taking something out of the box and going, oh, well, look at this, it's awesome, and this, and it's awesome, and everything's awesome. That tells me fuck all. Whereas someone who's had something for 3 months and said, look, I've had this for 3 months, you know, X, Y, Z is great, but on the con side of it, this has started to flake off. I've started this, you know, menu being slow has started to really get on my tits, etc., etc. Then, as a purchaser, you can look at that and you can think, okay, well, his complaints aren't complaints that I'd have, so I'm still going to buy it. Or actually, no one else has told me that thing starts to come away and that the menus gum up and blah blah blah. Yeah. And that's a view. Is a lot of these first review things, they're just not worth the bandwidth on your internet connection, because they say they tell you nothing and they just come across as like one massive ass kiss for the manufacturer, to be honest.
Yeah. Hugh's actually got a very good point there, though. He says, but it's all down to demand. It peaks at the start and then there's a massive interest drop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. 100% true. Yeah, that's 100% true. Which is
the
why...
most interest there's going to be in something is at like day 0 or day 1, and then it stands to reason. Right now, there's probably a lot of interest in an iPhone 11. In 9 months' time or 13 months' time, when you're gearing up for iPhone 11 Plus or 12, whatever it is, there's going to be much less interest. You'd still get views because there's still going to be people in a position where
people
they
buying second hand or
whatever. But generally speaking, the interest is in something when it comes straight out. You know, but. Yeah, it just depends what you're trying to do, doesn't it, really? Like I say, I personally think I never attempt to get into kind of like an arms race with trying to be the first person who's got a video about the Samsung Galaxy Deluxe or whatever, because you're just never going to win that. Whereas maybe a video about what it's been like after 6 months, and all these people in California who smile, whose teeth are white, and tell you this is awesome a million times. Well, guess what? I've had this for 6 months, and frankly, although it was great when I took it out the box, it's like a crock of shit now. So personally, if you ask me, would I buy it? No, I wouldn't.
There are a few things that I've had which I loved at first, but then over time, I guess the Blue Yeti is one example where I loved it at first, and then when I've started using other mics, I've started to understand its limitations. It's kind of like a master of all trades, a jack of all trades, sorry, and a master of none. You know, it's got a really high noise floor. It picks up so much background noise, even when you've got it directed at you. It's still a good mic for what it is and for its price, but it's got a lot of limitations as to how you use it. But there's a lot of things like that. Cameras as well, for example. You know, when I was doing research for cameras, someone said was it the Sony Alpha 5100, which you can pick up secondhand really cheap with the one with the flip screen, but apparently it overheats like crazy. And so does the 6000 that overheats a lot. So it's not suitable for a live stream. You know, I've been streaming for 2 hours. This camera has not switched off, and I'm just charging it, and I'm charging my overhead camera as well. Which
if you want to fry the world's smallest egg on the back,
it's still on.
They're great, but
I want to check this actually. Is this still? Why that was going crazy earlier, wasn't it?
What with the focusing?
Seems okay now. No, it's still jerking about.
Yeah, I don't know why that's. I think that's just shut the speed, to be honest. But you can have a look
I'll
at
check
that.
No, you know what? Do you know what's wrong? I was trying to check the shutter count for this earlier on, because I'm doing a video about it. It's publishing tomorrow, and apparently the RX10 series doesn't tell you or the RX series, it doesn't tell you the shutter count. But what I had to do was I changed it from filming mode to picture mode, took a picture, and then put it back to filming mode. So obviously when I've switched back to filming mode, it's kind of messed with the settings or for some reason.
Yeah.
So I'll need to set that up
again.
again.
You'll have to take a little little butchers.
Well, I've got you, Nollis. Well, I've got you. You've obviously been buying audio equipment, but I've kind of said this to you a few times. Would you ever consider having a YouTube channel? And if not, why not?
Put me on the spot.
Well, no, just because I know you've maybe given some thought to it a little bit in the past. I think you've got a lot more experience in the audio field than I do. Do you think, like, if you did a YouTube channel, for example, what kind of videos would you do? What topic would you do? What style would you do? Is there something that puts you off, or is it?
Well, it's time. I don't think I'm anything like as driven as you to do it, and also because I've kind of worked in the industry, I think I've got a natural kind of sort of reluctance to do anything that I didn't feel was like absolutely top notch. And it's it's one of those things. It's about time, and also space. If I had space where I could actually have things set up in perpetuity, that would be one thing, but I don't have that, and so for me it's just all way too much of an arse.
There's a lot of,
really. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I don't think I in truth I wouldn't have a YouTube channel unless I thought there was a particular thing that I was passionate about enough to do, and also that I think that I could have a niche. Now, I mean, a good example of that, and I know he's not totally alone, but we both like this guy, a guy called Techmoan. Now, he's got a great channel, and he's carved out. But he's carved out a bit of a niche, because I think there's an American guy called Technology Connections who does sort of. There's a bit of an overlap. They cover a lot of old technology and a lot of old formats, like video formats, audio formats, that kind of thing. Now, that's really cool, and what they do is a niche. Now, they're never going to be like numero uno on YouTube, because what they cover is largely a sort of a specialist interest. But then they both do really well, because there's enough people out there, with YouTube being a global thing, that there's enough people out there that are interested in that. And to be fair to them as well, they do it well. They're really thorough. They cover the topic really well. It's educational as well as sort of entertaining. Yeah. But I've gone off on a tangent there, and I didn't.
And again, to go back to what I was saying earlier, he's someone that I do draw inspiration from, as far as he's very in depth. He's very very detailed as to what he do. There's a guy that does something very similar to him. I subscribe to. I can't remember the name of him. There's Techmoan's the one that kind of flashes at the sign with the sign at the start, isn't there?
Yeah, Techmoan is the guy.
There's another British guy
somewhere
in
the north of England. And Technology Connections, I think, is somewhere in America or Canada. But
maybe that's the one. There's another guy kind of similar, and I really like him as well. I think. Come across a really nice guy, really passionate about what they do and all that as well.
It ties back to what we were just saying earlier on. Look at the frequency of the videos. Techmoan's videos come out roughly once a week. Yeah. He doesn't put out a video every day, because you can't do those kind of videos on a daily basis. No one would have enough time, especially if it's just him doing it.
Well, again, this is something I haven't brought up earlier, but this isn't my full-time job. It's not like I don't make enough to do this full-time. So when it comes to things like thumbnails, or why didn't you do this, or why do you don't have the time. You just don't have the time. So what do? Do you just not do any videos at all? Or do you just do the style of videos in the way, that you normally do it, so that it fits in with the rest of your life?
I think sometimes, from reading some of the comments that get posted on not just your videos, but a lot of other videos, I think there's this kind of assumption out there that if you're doing stuff on YouTube, that is your job, and that somehow you get paid to do it.
Yeah. And no, it's not.
Which is obviously not the case. It's a bit like bumping into someone you've seen off local telly and assuming that they're like a millionaire because they're on the telly. You think, well, no, actually, most people who work for the BBC or work for ITV or whatever, they're not. They don't get paid the same as Gary Lineker or Jennifer Lawrence or whatever.
It's all walks of life. Boxing, MMA, the same kind of thing as well. A lot of people are doing back shifts or they're postmen, and then they're going to train, and then they do the professional fight, and people assume they're rich. But because of the Conor McGregors and all that kind of stuff, all the people at the top of the game that are making millions, they assume everyone's super rich, but just isn't the case. Most people are just grinding, for a dream kind of thing.
Hugh, to answer your question, I work in TV and film post-production.
But then, even like with your knowledge and experience, like you're probably, it's kind of weird, because I'm tackling this from the bottom end of the market in a way where like, you've obviously got a lot of experience in this industry. You know so much about it, more than I'll maybe ever find out because you've did it full time. But you probably feel, well, I can't contribute because, you know, I don't know enough, or I don't know. Whereas I've came from, like, 5 years ago, I knew, well, I've did YouTube a little bit longer than that, but, you know, a couple of years ago, I knew nothing about cameras, about microphones, about anything. So every day for me is a school day. Every single day I am learning something.
You've done what probably most YouTubers have done, which is you've just learned on the job. I mean, that's another thing.
Which means that I can help others along the way.
Yeah,
but it's kind of weird because I'm coming from I'm like, say you're up here, I'm kind of coming up to here, and I feel that I'm in a really good position now, but I'm still miles behind you. But you maybe feel, because you're looking at guys, you know, your peers are even higher.
Well, yeah, well, obviously I work alongside people who do it professionally, so it's a different thing. But I mean, in some ways, you can't really compare the two things because the expectations and the requirements are very different. I mean, one of the beauties of YouTube is that literally anyone can do it, and you can talk about anything. Yeah. You know, even the most niche TV channel in the world is not going to commission something like Techmoan because they just They wouldn't see that
there's no market for it. Well, the thing is, there is a market for it, but not in the way that TV is done. In that,
no, of course,
you know, a certain time and all that.
Yeah, of course, it works perfectly for YouTube because it's accessible globally, and it can be watched whenever, as opposed to stuck away on channel 256,000 on the satellite guide. And it goes out at like 11 o'clock on a Monday night. You know, that's.
What's interesting about with those kind of guys as well is that I've read a few stories where a lot of these top people have been approached and they've said, hey, go and do a TV series, and they've turned them down. And they're like, well, why would I go and work from you? I don't own the content. I need to work your hours. I can work my own hours. I can do exactly what I want, and I get paid more. Why the hell would I?
Well,
you know, it's the same thing. Like, there's a lot of guys on Amazon self-publishing that are, you know, fiction writers that are doing really well, and they've been approached and said, well, sign a book deal, and they're like, why? Give you money for what? You know what I mean? It's like,
well,
cut out the middleman.
The whole, you know, the foundations of all these things have been completely ripped up and changed over time. I mean, 20 years ago, if somebody just came, not that they would, because obviously they wouldn't have had the platform to sort of show your wares, as it were, but 20 years ago, if someone had turned around to you and said, hey, Kev, why don't you do a TV show about technology? You'd have been bonkers to say no, because A, there was way more money in TV then than there is now.
Yeah.
And B, what, you know, how else would you have got out there and done it? Whereas you don't need that now. And the idea, you know, I often hear people talk about TV and say about how it's a golden age of telly, you know, HBO stuff and Netflix and all the rest of it. And it always makes me smile because I think it's a golden age in terms of the top, like 0.1%. Yes, like 30 years ago, you never had anything with the kind of budget or production value of Game of Thrones or Mindhunter. But the problem is that's the exception to the rule. The vast majority of people who work in telly now are not making Game of Thrones or Mindhunter. They're making basically the television equivalent of sausages to fill the airtime. And the trouble is, unlike, say, 30 years ago, where certainly, say, in the UK, you basically had 4 channels. Yeah, or 5 if you include S4C as a separate entity.
And some of them, you get the lady in Channel 4 at night time with the chalkboard as well.
30 years ago, you had 4 channels. You didn't have the internet, and so therefore, commercial television was extremely lucrative. So basically, there was a lot of money sloshing around, relatively speaking. Yeah. You know, I've talked to guys who, you know, were making programs which had no budget, and they'd send 5 or 6 of them out just to do a little piece for the news, you know, assistant camera, assistant sound. Now you're lucky if it's just a journalist with a crappy camera, because the money has just been sucked out of it. And the money's been sucked out of it.
That's what David is saying there. He says traditional TV is dead.
Well, it is. It's virtually dead. I mean, I suppose it still has a place in terms of maybe for certain sort of disposable stuff like news and sport. You know, people want to see football or rugby or whatever live, don't they? They don't want to see it like a week later. Well,
or reality TV, obviously. Reality TV is still popular, obviously.
But yeah, the traditional models are gone.
By the way, I want to test this. Just when I've got the microphone here, test this without
mind your plosives now.
Peter
picked a pot of pickled peppers.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how this sounds, so I'm really close up to it. No, it's interesting. I think. I mean, it's quantity now as well. Quality is more competitive. That's the thing. It's more competitive now.
Yeah. Well, what you've got is if you cut out hi to whoever that is.
Hey, I always say hey back.
If you cut out the top like 0.1%, like all the super high budget stuff that people love, really, if you look down from below that, TV now is actually quite lowbrow, and you've got far more people doing like more for less. So you've now got people operating cameras that 30 years ago wouldn't have been allowed to even unzip the box. And the simple reason is because there isn't the budget. Well, there isn't the budget to spend 500 quid a day on a professional cameraman to do something, when they'll just give a producer or a presenter like a day's training how to use a camera and say, there you go, set it up and film yourself. That's the reality of TV.
Well, the thing is I mean, like, I'm filming with the Sony Alpha 6500, and I've seen some clips from, that is quite plosive, isn't it?
Very plosive.
I've seen some clips, get you on there. I've seen some clips where someone's recorded a full film using the 6500. I'm looking at going, I can't believe that's the same camera. And that's, the camera I'm using right now has been used to shoot films. It boggles the mind, and it gives, it just shows you how, I know you were talking about microphones earlier on as far as equipment, but it's the same with cameras, as far as how affordable some things are now.
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, it's more about how you use stuff than the actual kit itself. I mean, a top-notch director of photography could take a phone or could take a cheap camera and would shoot something better than 99% of people would do if they had, like an Arri Alexa or whatever, because ultimately it's the lighting and the composition and everything else that counts. And to touch upon something you mentioned there about, shooting something on a 6500, it's probably worth pointing out that a lot of the time these things hit the headlines, the film that's being shown at, the Berlin Film Festival that was all shot on an iPhone or whatever. Yeah, that happens from time to time, but the reason it gets the headline is because it's the exception to the rule. And plus, the other thing that people don't realize as well is, yes, they may have used an iPhone or they may have used a Panasonic GH5, but they haven't just gone out with a Panasonic GH5 and someone's just read the manual.
They've got a £3,000 gimbal.
They will have, they will have ridiculous a level of ancillary equipment. To use
boom operators, lighting,
exactly.
Yeah, and the camera might have been used as a B cam or something, or
exactly.
It was like that. What was that film a few years ago, guys? It was a Hardcore Henry. It was all filmed in GoPros. So it was kind of filmed by one of the guys, and it's like it plays like a video game basically.
Yeah, it's like a first-person thing with a guy running.
Yeah, and they did it with like 50 GoPro Hero 6s or something strapped to cars and different things, which shows you what can be done with it. But again, they spent millions on it. It wasn't like they just had a £300 GoPro. They had millions for a budget.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to, was it Boko Chiach, to Boko Chaz brothers?
Unfortunately, to my shame, I can't read Cyrillic letters.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what that is it? Was it Greek? No.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it comes up with a lot of screen crazy letters here. It does look Greek or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, maybe you could elaborate on that, because I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I'm not actually sure whether that's Cyrillic or Greek or what that is actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure. David, aside from sports, traditional telly has been battered by video on demand. Yeah,
that's totally true.
I'm a prime example of that, because I very rarely watch TV live unless it's a big football game. Apart from that, it's Amazon and Netflix or YouTube. That's it. That's the three. That's the holy grail for me. The three places I watch. What's your little brother's name? What's your little brother's name? Happy birthday to Ismail Gabibli. Happy birthday, Ismail Gabibli, from YouTube, from the Tinterwebs.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce. I know I've pronounced that wrong, so I do apologise. But I'm going to wrap it up soon, guys. Where are you from,
birthday person? Where's the birthday person from? Where in the world are they?
I think it's Greece. Well, thanks, Nollis.
No worries.
I'm guessing Greece. We're guessing Greece, are we right? Yeah, thanks for coming on, Nollis. I do appreciate it. It was good to... I mean, you pointed me in the right direction. I might not have done this if you hadn't told me that I might have bought a stinker. It does look like it looks like we're all good. Looks like I've got a real one.
Yeah, that's
all good, guys.
that's a result.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the thing is that it just shows you this. I might like. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it out and put in a lot of different positions in a lot of different situations to see what it's best used for. But it does seem like it works good, and it does seem like this will be handy to have. You know, it's made well as well, and I like the fact as well. You know, you get microphones like this. This has got a cable that's built in. You know, at one point this will break. This will break at one point. I'll drop it. It will break. This thing is built to last. You know, it's bulletproof basically. And
well, exactly. That's the demonstration of opposite ends of the market, isn't it? You know, things that are made to sell at 100 or 150 quid versus things that are made to sell for 800 or 900 quid. You know, there's a big difference.
Well, it shows you. I mean, that's maybe something we can talk about another day, Norlis. We're talking about, you know, the pros of buying used over buying new. And I do buy some stuff new. I don't buy everything secondhand. My monitor, my laptop, you know, I've got a lot of stuff here that was brand new. My Thunderbolt dock, which was the best part of £300 after buying the cable. A lot of stuff I do buy new, but I think if you're an aspiring YouTuber, and as I said, it is expensive, you should try and save money where you can. And the way that I always look at it as well is, I've saved 600. That's the way to look at it, and that's 600 that can go towards something else, whether it be lighting or a camera or another mic or whatever.
Well, the other thing is just, sorry, I know you want to finish off now. I was just going to say.
No, it's okay.
The thing about buying used, a lot of the time, it just depends whether something's mission critical. I mean, the difference to you, if that mic was to go on the blink or was to stop working, it's not exactly going to bring you to a grinding halt. Whereas if you were a sound recordist now and you bought that second hand and you went out on a job, and the second job you went out, the thing packed up, and you didn't have any other spares, well, you know, that's a costly error, isn't it? You know, so.
Well, David, but they're obviously going for the guarantee and all that as well, and they're going for the, if it breaks, they want to send it back and get one back quickly. Yeah,
but absolutely, but that's just the point I was making, which is sometimes it's as much about your own circumstances and how you're going to use it, whether something's mission critical or not. You know, people who are buying something that's going to be used day in, day out and earn a living and need it to work, then there's a fair chance they are going to prefer to buy something new, etc. Whereas if you're only, you know, if you're using it lightly and it's not a disaster if the thing stops working or whatever, then, you know, you don't necessarily, you know, you don't need the assurance, shall I say, that the buying new gives you.
No, I agree 100%. And there's certain things I'll probably buy new because I want it to be new for the guarantee or, you know, for other reasons.
I find toilet roll is always a good one to buy new.
Toilet roll is a very good one.
Yeah. Although kitchen roll, you could probably get away with second hand.
What I'll quickly do before I go, that isn't actually turned on yet, but David's saying that's a great price. But what I can do quickly, I'll turn this mic back on so you can hear me. This is my regular mic. I'm going to mute the Sennheiser. So this has been the Sennheiser. But I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it off the mic stand. And I'll just quickly, my overhead camera isn't working great just now. I don't know why. Get this off.
By the way, I'll have to check out your channel, David Harry. I to my shame, I've never heard of you until Kevin mentioned. Well, until you.
Yeah, you should definitely. I'll put up your channel in a minute so you guys can see it. If I
was a student in Liverpool actually, so I know that I say that I know the city well. I did, but it's been such a long time since I lived there that it's probably changed out of recognition since I was there.
I'll get this for you. Yes, yeah.
I wonder whether there's a psychological effect though of talking into mics that are right in front of you, as opposed to condenser mics, which are just kind of, you know, out of you know, your own visual frame. It's gonna change how you speak, isn't it? Not that matters, but you know. Yeah,
well,
I bet it has.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Is that the right channel? I think it is. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about showing him love. I mean, that's a bit strong, but I'll definitely visit his channel. I mean, I don't dole out love that easily. But
so this is David's channel.
We're not all tarts like you, Kev.
Oh, I spread it about. This is David's channel. He did a lot of really good reviews recently. He did the DJI Osmo, and he did some stuff about the Rode Video Mic Pro and all that as well. The Osmo stuff I really liked because I was looking at buying that myself.
Well, I can see when have I sold out the Rode. I mean, that's a nice, a tantalising one to watch for a start.
Yeah. Yeah. So check it out. Please do check it out. We'll quickly do. I know my overhead camera is a little bit. Oh, it's switched off. My camera is switched off. I've messed up. I'll switch it back on. I just want to quickly show David and anyone else who's tuned in the mic, because this is what this video was supposed to be about before it went off on a 3-hour tangent.
Yeah, if only with a YouTube video you could just put a sort of a virtual sort of slice.
Yeah.
At the point we actually stopped talking about this microphone, and then this could have been separated off, and then you could have sort of as live just given it another title and just called it Any Old Bollocks.
Yeah. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it.
Or batting off Hugh's trolling.
Yeah. No, I think I can actually do that, but I think what it does, I don't know if you can split the video in two or not. I'd have to maybe download the video, and then I could actually do that. I could download the video, cut the original video, and put this off as a tangent.
It wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea to do that, if only because I would imagine moving forward, when people start Googling or even just looking on YouTube, there's probably going to be a lot of people who are going to be looking, who are going to be intrigued by the idea of a fake Sennheiser 416 video. But then, to be fair, they probably won't, nor would I indeed sit and watch them in this longer than Gone with the Wind.
So this is the actual mic. As far as finding out which one is real, which one is fake, it's quite difficult. There are some things. Apparently, originally, I think you said no, some of them were gold. The pins. These ones are silver.
Yeah.
But apparently, some of the fake ones are silver as well. Apparently, the capsule, this one come off dead easily, but there's fakes that don't come off easily. The screw, this one is black. Apparently, the other ones are silver. And then other things just the lettering.
To be honest, though, as I said before, I think that guy probably hit the nail on the head, the one who did the video comparing the two, in as much as a lot of the information that's out there about fake 416s is probably does pertain to original fakes, but they've probably improved them to the extent that you could probably buy one that's got a black screw and the capsule doesn't come off, and that the XLR pins are silver, but it doesn't guarantee it. I think that the real sort of the money shot is when you open it up and take it apart, because the fakes have definitely got are going to be different.
Yeah,
they're not even going to resemble it.
I did that earlier on. We unscrewed it and we took the capsule out, and it was like the green background, and then it was like Sennheiser official and all that. The fake ones.
Gay, no I, hiya. So we got gay a bit.
Hiya, Sam. Hiya, Sam.
Is this one of your local pals?
No. Sam has tuned in to a few live streams though. How's it going, Sam? How's it going? So yeah, the other thing is the letters there. Apparently these are kind of engraved into it. The other ones are kind of painted on. But again, there's absolutely no guarantee. You kind of need to check everything. And I would say if you get one, unscrew this screw, check it out, check the capsule like I did earlier on. I think that's the safest thing to do.
The other thing you could probably do is you could probably hold an ultraviolet light over it, and if it says this is a fake, then you know you've got.
Yes, that's the way it works. Well, the thing is, you kind of, if you like, obviously I've bought this used. I bought this used, but if you buy it like brand new and it comes in the box and all that, they give you like a hologram now, the official Sennheiser one, and you can check it, and you can check that you've got the official one. So I've bought it without the box and manual and all that kind of stuff. But if you buy it with the box and the manual, you'll get like an official, hologram label thing that you go and check. So that will help you check that you've got the right one.
Yeah, and apparently if you buy a real one, the hologram is showing Tron Revisited or whatever, whereas the fakes are showing the 82
what was that called again?
version.
Tron, what was it? Tron 2000 or something like that, was it?
Yeah, the fakes are showing the old 1982 version. So
yeah,
that was a great joke, wasn't it?
Tron was a great film.
Yeah, I like Tron.
Well, thanks, Nolis. Thanks for calling in, mate. I do appreciate it, and thanks for everyone who's been tuning in. There's been a lot of people watching. Try the ultraviolet, and it says BBC. It'll be an original.
Yeah, no, actually, to be fair, there's people who do mark their stuff up like that. I think if it's ex-BBC, it'll probably have like a sticker which will be harder to remove than just about anything on the planet. Yeah. It says something like BBC, whatever.
Well, that makes sense, because they probably got a lot of stuff stolen.
Yeah, they have asset tagging. Yeah, big companies will have like basically unremovable stickers, which will have like a serial number and a barcode and all that stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They are a twat to get off. Trust me.
This thing is
not that I've nicked them and tried to remove them, by the way.
This thing is an absolute weapon. You could properly do some damage with this.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to cop one of them on my suede.
Yeah, it's really well made. So thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. David, Sam, Mikey, who else have we got here? I can't pronounce the Greek name. Bokwa, Hugh. Everyone else has been tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, check your subscriber numbers afterwards, Kev, as well. Hopefully they haven't gone down too much after this.
Yeah, I've probably went down to like
it's showing you got 4.1 subscribers now. Sorry about that.
Let me see. I don't even know
Address all your complaints to me.
7650, it says. I don't know if that's up or down. I don't know. I've not checked in a few days. I
suppose it doesn't tell you one by one, does it? It doesn't let you know every time someone is. It just gives you like a kind of a summary, does it?
No, well, they've kind of changed it where it only tells you to the nearest 10. But interestingly, this tells you like a summary of the latest comments. Dude, is your brain up, ute ass? You never even sunk the fucking thing underwater. Okay. It's down here. Down. No, it's for a video I did years ago. It's like an underwater thing that I tested or something. Good old YouTube. Good old YouTube. There's so much love out there. I'm just not receiving any of it right now. But you always get people like that.
You should check out, actually, and anyone else watching this should check this out. There's a guy who's got a video, a channel, sorry. In fact, he's got two channels, and one of his channels is called Camera Conspiracies, and his other channel is one called The Vegetable Police. Now, I didn't know about that, but The Vegetable Police is all just to do with his kind of dieting and being a vegan and all the rest of it. And I saw a video this morning, I watched it, and it was on his Camera Conspiracies channel, because I'm not particularly interested in the Vegetable Police thing, but basically what he says is that how much of a difference there is between the two channels. And whereas on the Camera Conspiracy one, which he only did as a bit of a laugh, he's got way more viewers, way more subscribers, and he mostly gets generally is quite a positive vibe, and he gets a lot of people like, getting into the spirit of it and such. Whereas the Vegetable Police channel is just just like a non-stop bile, like stream of bile, and it's funny, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I kind of see the same thing, because obviously I've got a cryptocurrency channel, and I do get the odd comment from that. I've said this before. I can do a review and I can point out 20 different things, and if I get one thing wrong, even if I'm just quoting the website, they'll go, "Oh, you idiot! It's 5 decibels, not 3." And you're like, oh, "Come on!" It was an hour-long video. But the cryptocurrency channel, this tech channel, generally I don't get that. I would say that 95% of people that reply to my comments, nice people, polite, really nice people. I've got no complaints, and I've kind of got a good community behind me.
Everyone loves an Irishman, don't he?
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Everyone asks if I'm Irish as well. But the other the cryptocurrency channel, I do get. Yeah, it's divisive. But I mean, that's just that. That's that industry is like that. In fact, my last video on that channel was about the poisonous people in cryptocurrency, because there's so many people.
I saw that.
There's so many people that are just nasty and vengeful and petty and childish.
I think it's probably would be not that. It would be probably fairly factually accurate to say that if all of a sudden a virus was unleashed and it wiped out every single person involved in cryptocurrency, I reckon approximately 74% of the world's bellends would be dead overnight.
Yeah, there's a lot of nasty, horrible people, and I don't know why. It's just, I mean, you get a lot of good people in Discord that help each other out and all that. Really nice people that kind of hang out in the community and they're dedicated and all that. But you get some really people with a lot of mental health problems, I would say, as well.
Anything related to technology does seem to attract this really weird kind of
fanatical,
tribalistic,
kind of obsessive,
fanatical. and a kind of a mindset from people. I also think there's just a difference in the way that people communicate with other people online. You know, I mean, in my life, I've met lots and lots of people, a small percentage of whom have been absolute bellends, but even they are nothing even like on the same level as some of the people you see commenting in forums and on YouTube videos. And I just think to myself,
they can get away
they
with
can't
it.
be like that in real life. They cannot possibly be like that in real life. That's just a side effect.
If you walked about in life being like that, like being like these trolls are, you get punched every day of the week.
You'd get basically beaten to a fucking pulp, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah. David, try working in music. Yeah. Well, thanks again, Nollis. I do appreciate it. Thanks for everyone who's been watching. We're going to call it a day like that, but thanks for watching. Do check out David's channel, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Cheers, guys.
Nice one. Ta-ta all.
Thanks, Nollis.